tonight's episode of the Gamecasters, we talk about the games we played, we do another Natalie's Nook segment for ya, and then we end the show with our top 5 games to play with kids. Stay tuned.
There, gamers, and welcome to episode 66 of the Gamecasters. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You guys sound a week younger than I expected. Well, you tricky dickies, we actually recorded this episode a week ago, but as Natalie and I are currently touring the East Coast on our East Coast tour, we didn't have time to record today, seeing as we literally aren't here. Seriously, go to our house right now. You won't find us. You'll find our nanny, all of her lovers house sitting, but not us, Jack. We're currently en route to Boston. Okay, time to do some accents.
Oh, boy.
This is the way I normally talk, and it's the correct way, right? The only way.
Yes.
The true way speech was meant to be delivered. After the crucible of the Big Bang, the booming voice of the Lord decreed that the one rightful speech in all of his mighty kingdom was Midwestern, Southeastern Michigan.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
However, lesser forms were also created so as to subjugate the different dialogal dialects, like Boston, where you can get chata, or go to college to get smarter. Want some shrimp? Well, then go down under. Drive your little car. Gotta get far. Or do you need some crumpets, some tea? Would you like to do me? No? Well,
Would you like to do me?
well, then maybe Jeff will tickle your fancy. Or do you need a condom, eh?
Oh, heck, watch out there.
I bet you there's one in your wallet.
Don't you know? I just hopped over the lake there,
Never
eh?
been used, don't you know?
Oh, no.
Oh my
Oh, heck.
gosh.
Oh, damn near killed her.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Wait, wrecked him.
no. Oh, damn near killed her. Watch out.
So that's one of that. Okay, I will say, that is not my favorite accent that me and Jeff do together. Oh no, that's our favorite. That's my favorite accent that we do together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That is not my favorite accent Jeff does. I don't know.
I think I know what it is.
Oh, God,
I don't know if it will be considered cultural appropriation, so we don't have to do that one. Jeff has a really good Minnesota, just like the one we just talked about there. Natalie, do you have any accents?
No.
I do this sort of angry British fellow when I'm in the bathroom by myself.
Wait.
my God.
Jim has threatened you numerous times about your accent. If you do this, we might lose Jim.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
There was one day, Ryan,
Well, I need to stuff my mouth with some popcorns.
Ryan was in the bathroom taking a shower, and I happened to be in the bedroom. The door was closed, to the bathroom, and I'm in the bedroom, and I hear him talking in an accent. And so I go stand by the door.
This is the first time you've ever heard this accent? Or
normally
this?
I'm not
Okay.
hanging out in the bedroom while he's in the shower,
Whoa! Water spilled. Whoa!
Oh.
Oh my God, it's even worse. Okay, we'll be right back.
Yeah.
And we're back. Okay, so Natalie, what were you saying?
Oh, boy.
We had a little bit
Sorry about
of
that.
difficulties. Oh my God, a popcorn just came out of my mouth. Sorry. So Natalie, what were you saying about
I was
me in the
saying
shower?
that I put my ear up to the door, and Ryan's in there talking, while the shower's running, talking in an English accent. And he's saying, and I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
He's singing?
He's not singing.
Oh.
He's saying things like,
I'll tell you.
I don't even know. It's something about oh, and then I take this razor, and then, and I was just like,
Just dictating your routine.
That's all I do.
I literally was outside the bathroom what is happening?
Really help with this. Just
So then
something I do,
Of
right?
course, I had to wait for him to get out, and I was just like, who are you talking to in there? Or sometimes you're in the bathroom and it's silent in the house and I can hear you talking, and so I'll text you and be like, I can hear you, right?
What am I saying?
I don't know. I can't ever hear what you're saying. I just hear you talking, but you're alone.
So
in
it's
the
usually
bathroom.
something like this. Well, here we are again. Time to get the soap and lather it all around and put it on your naughty bits. There you go. Looks right, feels right, smells right. Now it's time to shave. Just gonna get the razor and shave with it up my neck, just like that. Yep, looks right, feels right, smells right.
Just so you know, this is real because I heard it, and I've
real.
never
This is
heard him
happening.
do that before.
I don't know. It's just something I do. I might even do the rest of the intro or the rest of this, this bit in this voice.
The entire show.
We'll see. I also do this very effeminate voice that Natalie loves, but I think that might be a bit too risky for this show. Again, I don't want to horribly offend. Offending is all right, but horribly offending is something I strive to avoid.
Oh my God, the way your lips look when you do that. It's ridiculous.
Hey, normally I'm in the bathroom by myself, okay?
That's what you think.
Eavesdropper.
Yeah.
I ain't dropping no eaves, I promise. Stop dropping those eaves. Eavesdropper. What's wrong with you guys? Jeff, what's happening with you?
I don't know. I don't know.
He doesn't know. He has no clue.
Watching TV in the basement, sitting around. We got furniture in the basement
Naked.
down there.
Do you have any clothes on while you do it?
Yeah, we got a new couch. We got like a little recliner sofa sort of thing.
Looks right.
Or couch,
Smells
depending
right.
where you're from. It looks great. It smells great. And
Wait, you got the couch?
Got the couch.
Nice.
We're not listening to the whole.
Yeah.
Nice. And your
So
chair.
so it was kind of cool. Was we spent like our first evening down there just sitting on the couch, watching TV.
Yeah.
So much for the kid
Now you
episode.
Yep, I know.
Now you have 2 places to watch.
Oh, is that
TV.
spoiled? We can cut that. Yeah, so now we have 2 places to watch TV. It's
Nice.
like we're rich. We have 2 TVs.
Or like,
Can you guys
if you want to
believe it?
watch something and Devin wants to watch something, you can go in
Exactly.
2 different
Really?
floors.
You have 4 you have a TV in your bedroom?
4 Yeah.
4 TVs. Jack have a TV in his room?
No.
Where's the 4th one?
In the bedroom, the
game
living room, and there's 2
Oh,
downstairs.
the game room.
Yeah, the game room's got
Yep,
one.
the game room's got one. You should know. We watched some stuff on it last
Yeah, we watched
time.
Steve Brule on it.
Yeah.
Yep, the Brulia. Which
Yeah,
is
so-
another accent Jeff could do. We could do those. That's the one we like to do together.
Yeah, that one's
Would be
great.
That's an
Steve
accent?
Brule. Yeah, Steve
Too
Brule,
funny.
I think that's an accent.
Isn't it a character?
He's his own.
Are we going to get like...
Oh, heck, Natalie.
I know, geez, like what kind of like... Oh, let's get pedantic now. Okay, so I found a PS5.
Well,
Where?
I found
like on
it.
TV, or you just saw it?
I've been okay.
Saw it
So
online
a while
once.
ago, Ben from the Date Night Dice Instagram and podcast was on the search for this graphics card. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And you might remember that episodal grief that Ben endured on their podcast searching for it. Well, he finally got it, and I've drawn on him for inspiration as I embarked on my own quest for the PlayStation 5. I was following this Twitter account that posted restock alerts every day on Target, Best Buy, Amazon. I've been searching for months to try to find this thing, but you just can't. It's impossible. Until one day, Natalie sat on the couch. She's like, oh, guess what? A friend of mine says, oh, does anybody want one? I have one. He just found one.
Is that voice you were talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Everybody go, who wants a PS5? Who wants it? Well, I wants it. So I said, go gets it. She got it. It arrives last Wednesday. Remember, we're in the future. But as we started the trip before it arrived, I haven't gotten to play with it yet.
Wow.
I'm real excited.
Congratulations.
My favorite
Yeah, thanks,
part
man.
about getting this PS5 is now Ryan can stop saying every single day,
No
can I buy a
PS5s.
PS5? Can I buy a PS5?
Time to go on to the Xbox Series 1.
Yeah, what's the next one?
The new
Xbox.
Series X, Xbox Series 1. I don't know.
I'm so behind on anything video game that it's just...
This is like
I
the
almost don't
first
even
time
know
in
how
years
it would
I've
catch
caught
back up. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
you
so
just get the
far
new
behind. Honestly, yeah, I would just have to
New
like grab. But I don't
But
have
which
one.
one? There's like a Switch and a Xbox and a
Yeah.
PS5.
Just pick one and get it.
I think I would probably have to get like a Switch.
Yep.
But again, I think those are really difficult
Switch
to
are
find
fun.
now.
No,
too,
you can
right?
find- you can pretty much find
them
those
now?
regularly, yeah.
Because I think Devin would play the Switch.
Yeah, she would for sure.
But
Because you can play
it's-
like the old Mario games and stuff on there.
Yeah, she likes
I know
to do
she
stuff
likes
too.
Mario
And
thing,
yeah, it would
Mario
be
World.
again that would then take away from
Other gaming?
other gaming or
Yeah.
Or
TV
TVs
watching with
watching.
all of our televisions.
Can
Yeah, you gotta
add a new
prioritize for
hobby in
sure.
there?
I don't know.
I love video games. I hadn't video gamed in pretty much the last decade since I've been a board gamer.
Yeah, that's really I shifted completely.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and people might know this, but Ryan and I used to play Halo all the time. Like that was our thing. That's what, like united us.
Yeah.
Was playing Halo
Yeah,
and
and
poker.
poker.
And now we've like I just haven't played video games. And you know, all my
Yeah.
students play video games. They ask me about video games, and I'm like,
Don't know,
"Ooh, I
man.
don't know any
Don't
of
get
them."
it.
But a lot of them are like the same one. Like they're playing Grand Theft Auto, Call
Yeah.
of Duty. They're
Yeah.
playing, which I'm
Yeah,
like,
everyone's
I know
playing Grand
these
Theft Auto
things.
5 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a new generation system.
Yeah, so I got my gaming computer, during COVID. I'm trying to remember like what really made me want to get. Oh yeah, there's this Half-Life game. This game called
yeah.
Half-Life,
Yep.
right? And it's
for the
the Oculus, right?
Yes.
And so that kind of I just wanted that game because Half-Life was one of my favorite franchise games.
so we got a whole computer.
Yeah, I bought the computer and I bought
Why the
what the heck
VR
is
thing.
it?
VR.
The VR.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm like, why can't I think of what the Oculus is actually called? Yeah, I bought the VR headset
goggles?
and stuff. Yeah, the goggles.
Goggles.
And I don't play that game very often, but it kind of sparked my interest in
Is that the
rekindled
one
me
you're
back
too scared
into
to
video.
play?
Maybe. It's really scary.
The Half-Life?
Yeah,
It's
well-
a like first person.
Yeah, and you're in virtual reality, and there's zombies coming alive.
He's like, will you come in the basement with me
Gross.
while I play that game?
She's like, yeah, but I can only do it once or twice before I get tired.
Oh my god.
We gotta go to bed. I'm sleepy.
I know. Oh God, another time I gotta write down.
I need some time.
So anyway, I got
This is
it.
not
I'm
a kid
super
friend-
excited about that. I can't do it.
There's a kid-friendly part in this episode. Just
We're
wait.
just gonna say it.
Oh, brother.
Maybe
yeah,
we'll put a
we're doing-
timestamp.
Yeah, we should put a
of-
timestamp on the kid-friendly part.
Oh my God.
Who cares? We're the Gamecasters.
We're the Gamecasters. Don't
Gateway
listen.
Network.
You know what? You can listen
Okay.
to hear my kids speak, but maybe you shouldn't let your kids listen to us.
Yeah.
There's a million other. Okay, I say this to myself in the shower in a British accent all the time. There are a ton. There's a ton of other content out there, board game related. Maybe most of it that's family friendly. We can be one of the only ones that has
Yeah.
an adult
Yeah.
tone, and
God.
I'm
I agree.
totally kind of cool
I'm
with
with you.
that. Let's lean
Before
into
this episode today, Ryan was
Suck
like,
it,
"I'm
Dice
gonna try
Tower."
to be
Yeah.
like more kid friendly this episode, so like people can listen with their kids." And I'm like,
And now we're coming in the basement.
Yep, here we go.
but then he clarified. He's like,
And we're 8 minutes in.
yeah. He clarified. He's like, well, don't worry. He's like, instead of saying like fucking, I'll just say like he did her. And he's like, kids don't know what that means, right? And I was like,
Mom did what to her? Mom, what was that part? Can you go back? What did he do to her?
That's totally right. That actually, but I justified it. I was
Yeah.
like, so like, I didn't say a swear.
Nope.
Yep.
No swears.
Oh my gosh. So have you guys been playing any games? Notably, Jeff.
Yeah.
What have you been playing, man?
Games. Let me tell you some stuff. So last night, I had both of my brothers over, one of their wives.
Oh,
Guess which one?
Terry.
Nope, it was Terry. Terry came
Really?
over, yeah.
Wow.
With the boys.
oh.
So
geez.
we had kind of
a boy part,
a
sausage
first
party
sort
plus
of like
Terry.
get together, and this
Devin.
weekend we have a couple other sort of like Memorial Day kind of get togethers with the family where things are a little bit starting to feel like normal, where we're
Yeah.
kind of back to hanging out because
vaccinated.
you know we're a pretty close family in terms
Yeah.
of just being around each other and wanting to be around each other.
and living close to each other.
Yeah, so my son Jack got to play with his cousins Christopher and Brian, and they had a blast.
They
Oh, they
did.
probably loved him.
And yeah, and Jack was he was so upset to go to bed. You know, it's like one of the things he was just so pumped up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm having
but he
the
had to go to
best
bed.
time.
And so they hooked up the switch to the TV. So Christopher and Brian were playing video games, and then we split off into the other room after Jack went to bed, and we played an Exit.
How sweet is that?
It was awesome.
That's like the way to do it. So
was
they're in like the
perfect.
couch area.
Yes,
and you're
exactly.
in the game area,
Yep.
which is how, dude. That's by design.
By design.
You set it up
Yep.
that way.
Perfect.
Working.
Yep.
So we played an Exit. We played the Dead Man on the Orient Express.
Awesome.
Which was fantastic.
Really?
We played this game coming up called King of 12, which we'll talk about soon,
heard of that
which
one.
you guys played. And then we also played a game that is a secret.
A secret.
It is a secret.
Like you can't talk
Like
about it?
we cannot talk about it right
What?
now. But here's the thing.
Why?
You're under a lockdown?
I'm just going to tell you that it's a social deduction game.
I heard of it.
And as soon as we get together with a group bigger than 5 or 6, you need to play it.
Really? Even Natalie, she hates social media.
Even Natalie.
What?
Yes.
Is it called
So-
a secret?
No. The name of it, I don't even know if I can say the name of it.
If you're under an
Is it-
embargo,
I am under an embargo, but it's a very good social deduction game. So as soon as I can talk about it, I'm going to. And I think that
Really?
we're going to
Is
be
that
able to
good?
play it before I can talk about it. So you
know
will
what?
be able
am
to do
I feel
it.
like you're like a movie
really
star under
pumped
contract.
up to play a social deduction game again. I've been off
Yes.
social deduction games for years.
Because of me.
Yep. And so
Yeah.
I would love. I mean, you know,
This is a good one. It's a good one. Again, I don't want to get like too into it, but it's good. So we
cool.
played a few games, and that was really just fun. It was fun
Yeah.
to like get back together with some family, feel a little more normal, and play some games. But the game I want to talk about is a game called Santa Monica.
Ooh,
You guys know this game?
I heard of it.
I've heard of it as
I almost
well.
bought it like 40 times.
Yeah, I
I think It's
agree.
in my Amazon cart currently.
I agree with that because I think we've even been at RAW.
Yeah.
Holding it, putting it
There
back.
it is. Like,
holding
do we get
putting
it?
back.
Nah. Do we get it? Nah.
And done the same thing on Amazon. It was on my like wish list for
Yeah,
a
for
while. Keep
months.
track, and it was just one of those games that I never grabbed, but I always wanted to play.
Yep.
And then Devin showed mild interest,
That's all you need.
and I was like, okay,
Okay, bought.
I'll buy 2 copies. Do you want one, and I'll have one. You want to start your first? You want your first game, your first collection? So I bought it because I had kind of been going back and forth. I saw a whole bunch of pictures on Instagram of it because people were kind of obsessed with it for a while.
Yeah, obsessed.
And it's also beautiful. Like the art,
It's cool.
the
Yeah.
color palette. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art people.
That's a word.
Is this like beachy, like
like
light
pastel-y,
pink,
right? Is it
blues?
kinda like
yeah, it's just a
pastels?
very
Yeah,
cool
beachy.
look.
Yeah.
So, Santa Monica, not Santa Maria, or Santa Claus. So Santa Monica is a tableau building game. Players are trying to create the most appealing beach and boardwalk area in Southern California. I know. So players start with a large tile, which is kind of, think of it as like being 2 stories tall or 2 cards tall.
Yep.
So that's what you have to start with, which the top part is your beach area and the bottom part is your boardwalk.
Okay.
So that's kind of where you'll be adding cards. You can add cards to either side of your starting player. So your tableau can have 2 rows on either side of that starting thing.
Kind of like Penny Lane? I know it's not 2 rows,
Yeah.
but you're playing on either side?
Yeah, except the art matches up a little bit. Man, Penny Lane that game is good, right?
Yeah,
that's a good game.
I would say I was definitely pleasantly surprised.
If you're looking into Penny Lane, that's a quick game, but man, there's like these coins where half the coin is on one card and half the coin on the other card.
And the other coin goes under the stove.
They just, yeah, right? And they just never meet, they just never match up. So I don't know what happened with the printing there. But
Yeah, it's weird.
Anyway, you start with this large tile, and each turn, you're basically drafting a feature card, which the feature card would be the beach or the boardwalk. And the card is then added to your tableau, and you can add it, obviously, like I said, to either side or to continue a path. So you could really just make all like to the right of it or all to the left, or you can just kind of place it wherever you want. Cards have a variety of like different features on it. So the artwork is kind of cool. It comes with things like visitors or sand dollars. So whenever you take the card, you get the card and whatever it says on there.
Okay.
Some of them come with movement points to kind of move your visitors around your tableau or your beach. And then most of them have a way to score points. So the different visitors and cards require different aspects to really score. Sort of like, I don't know, any game where it's like, Overboss. Oh, this needs to be next to this, but not next to this to score points. So that tableau building seems like the way to score when you're building something like that.
Sure.
So there's like different features on there. So for example, if you had like a sand volleyball court, you might grab the sand volleyball court and add that to your beach. Before the end of the game, it might need to be next to something to get points. It also needs to have people on it because they have to be playing sand volleyball.
Of course.
So some of the movement actions that you get with other cards, you have to move your people around the beach and get them to the sand volleyball court to score points at the end of the game, which is why you'd need movement points, because they're moving around. Most cards have these little symbols on them, and the symbols are the way that the aspects are kind of scoring. So this card might have a seashell on it, and you get points for the seashells being next to something else. So that's how they work that system. And you're basically just trying to organize your beach in the most appealing way to score all the points.
Okay. Appealing based on
like, so they call it appealing because you want the food on the boardwalk next to something, right? It's just so the art kind of makes more sense, but they just have symbols, right? Of
course.
So you want to put symbols in the most way, the best way it's going to get you the most points.
That's the thematic way of saying, put this next to that.
There's this cool little foodie meeple and a food truck meeple.
Foodie meeple?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Placed below the
He's taking selfies?
Yeah, the draft area. So there's a set of 4 cards that you can draft from. And above those 4 cards are 4 cards that are face up. And then when you take one from the draft area, that card from up top slides down. So you actually you have an advantage of seeing more cards. Like if I take this one's going to slide down and I might be able to take it next turn. Or don't take that one because maybe Ryan needs this to score a bunch of points. So I'm going to leave that one there, let him do it. But there's this food and food truck meeple that kind of move back and forth throughout the drafting area. Mm-hmm. They give you a cool thing. If you take the card that's above the foodie, you get to move some people around. If you take above the food truck, you get to, I think, take some sand dollars, which the sand dollars are cool because you can use sand dollars to do like a super action, draft 2 cards or to do something like that, right? So the sand dollars will let you draft from the row that you can't take from right away. So the sand dollars are cool currency to do super bonus actions or whatever. And basically it comes with a scoring sheet, thank God, because that would be like miserable to score each card individually. But the score sheet is great. You get points for all your cards. There's also common objectives that you're kind of comparing your each other to. So who has the most of this or the least of this will get you certain points. So there's an objective face up. It said who has the most seashell tiles or who has the most visitors or the most tourists or whatever. And then you compare and you get points based on if you're first, second, or whatever. And it is super simple. That was basically like all of the rules.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't seem bad.
It's straightforward. It's really an easy-going, light game. It was, I think we talked about last episode, the Golden Geek Awards. It was nominated for Light Game of the Year. I think it was like the second runner-up or whatever.
What's the weight, do you know?
I wouldn't say it's higher than a 2.
Wow, it's that light.
I bet I don't know if you looked it up on BGG, but I would say it's in that.
Check.
If
I've
it's
seen it
slightly
on there
above a
time.
2, it would be.
It would surprise you.
It would surprise me.
Drumroll,
I would
please.
put it at a 2.
2.16. So yeah,
Okay.
very, very.
So
close.
yeah, I would put it at a 2. And I think maybe with more plays, you could get a little more strategic, a little more, thoughtful in your decisions of how you're going to place cards and things like that.
Yeah.
So that might lead it to 2.1 instead of 2.0. So we played in like 40 minutes with a teach. So like
Wow.
a 10-minute
That's
teach,
short.
we played in a half
Wait,
an hour.
just you and Devin?
Just Devin and I. Yeah,
Okay.
so it would take a little longer.
Yeah, a little longer
Because
for
you're
play.
playing to 14 cards. So as soon as someone has 14 cards in their
It ends.
tableau, it ends.
And then you score.
So I would say it would probably be an hour with 4 people,
Cool.
which is the top that this
like
game
that.
should be. It shouldn't be any
would-
longer.
it would feel
because
too
then
long.
you'd creep into the, why am I still building this tableau? Let's be done. But I felt like at 14 cards, it was good because we had that moment, which is good in the games, where at 10 and 11, we're like, oh shit, we only get 2 or 3 more cards. What
you're
do I
kinda
do
like,
with these
what
last
do you
couple
got?
things?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, because there's some of the sand dollar actions where I might be able to take 2 cards.
Right, which could you could end the
Which
game
could.
in a
So
flash.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was some cool decisions. So for how light it was, I think there were like decent choices, right? Do I take the card that's the best for me in the moment? Do I take a card to not let that one come down so Devin could take it? Do I take the one in front of the food truck because I definitely need some more sand dollars to activate this card? The point cards don't give you as much stuff right away as some of the other ones. So taking things early, getting your visitors, and then taking cards to move them around and know where they go. That was kind of fun. And it's good. I'm glad it's in my collection. I think it's overall good. I don't think I'm going to reach for it all the time, but there are lots of nights that we're supposed to be playing games with Devin, and she's like, let's just play a short half-hour game. That would be one that I will never have to read the rules for, that I could reach for and play it quickly.
Was it a little overhyped, do you think?
I think so. Nothing about it really blew my mind and was
Yeah.
like, this is
So
revolutionary.
you were more kind of like, why did this get so much crazy
Like, it's good,
attention?
Yeah.
but-
Because Instagram, it was
it seemed popular.
everywhere, and people were like, "This is the game right here."
Yeah, and
this
I
needs to
think-
win all these awards,
and people
like,
do
wow.
love it. And
Yeah.
maybe with more plays, it feels a little like it jumps up in that strategic category for me a little
Yeah.
more. But I think what maybe appeals people is the art is awesome. The production quality is great. The sand dollars are like wooden sand dollars and look like sand dollars.
Yeah.
The meeples have like sunglasses on because they're tourists in a beach.
That's cool.
So like it works on Instagram because it's
Very
picture friendly.
photogenic.
Yeah.
So it's
that makes
picture friendly. I know people are overly positive on Instagram, and so am I. I usually play games and talk about games that I like.
Yeah.
I usually don't do a lot of like bashing games on Instagram
Sure.
because
Right.
I don't really play a lot of games that I hate or
Well,
what I mean?
it
But-
takes a lot of work because if you're gonna like specifically post a game just because you don't like it, you gotta like spend the time writing about it. I think it's Rodney Smith that talks about that. Maybe it's Rado. It's one of the two. Someone's like, I think it's Rado because Rodney Smith doesn't actually review, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Rado at one point, someone's like, every single game I see you talk about, you love, and he's like, well, that's because I carefully curate the games before I play them. I tailored
Yeah.
the game to, if I think I'm going to like it, that's when I'll
Right.
get it.
I'm
then
not,
if I
like,
happen
excited
not
to play bad
Yeah, he's like,
games.
I'm not one of those people who just takes in every single game.
Right.
He's like, I'll turn away way more games than I say yes to at this point.
yeah, because
now
he
he's a big-
knows like, all right,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I'm not gonna
and
waste
then
my time.
I don't want to get a game for the purpose of bashing it.
Yeah.
Like this is
Right.
someone's baby almost.
Yeah,
The game that
definitely.
they created and made, and I'm gonna go on purposely take it, not being excited about it, and then crush its dreams and hope. It's like that's
Yeah.
not what it's for, right?
Yeah.
That's what's
This
not
kinda
what the
like
community is for.
When we play games and we don't like to take that mechanic because we don't want to be mean to each other. We also don't want to be just like bad
Yeah.
talk, like games that you don't like.
Yeah.
If you don't
Yeah.
have anything nice to say, don't say it at
No,
all.
see, I don't
Yeah.
mind saying negative things about games because I think it helps people
know,
to see
but
negative
like you
viewpoints.
said, you gotta
It's different if you're just trashing something like this is a piece of
Yeah.
crap.
right. You're trying
than
to
saying negative
at least
feedback.
be respectful. Still,
Yeah, like Jeff
while,
said, these
while
are
giving your
people's,
honest thoughts. But
Most people I think that are designing games are like
yeah,
pouring, people don't get rich doing this. So they're doing it as a labor of love. You know what I mean? So I can understand that designer. I mean, being in the middle of designing a game myself, if somebody just like trashed my game, it would be devastating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that negative reviews, if done correctly, are more helpful than maybe just a glowing positive review that doesn't actually totally feel like it's glowing. Because then, I mean, luckily it didn't happen in this case because you did like Santa Monica. But seeing all that glowingness, if I bought it and I was kind of like, what the heck are people? You know, it does less of a service to me, you know, getting a game in my collection that I don't really want just because of all literally 100% positive feedback. You know, if I, so basically all I'm saying is I really appreciate when there's, you know, like a negative review sometime, just so I can look at those things. Because a lot of times I'll look at a negative review and be like, everything it's saying, I don't care.
Yeah,
that makes me like the game.
Right.
But I do like seeing why people don't like something, and I think there's great value to that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
just like when you go to buy something and I always go to the worst reviews first just to see what people are saying are the problems with it, because everyone who has good reviews are saying the same thing. They love it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why don't these people like it?
Yeah, what is there that people don't like?
Honestly, there's a lot of times when it's stuff I don't agree with. You know, like, oh, I don't care about that.
This is multiplayer solitaire. Sweet.
Yeah, okay.
This is a dry queue pushing Euro. Alrighty.
Yeah.
One thing that I like doing on BGG or anywhere is looking at like the ratings of like 6s and 7s.
Yeah, the middle
because
ground ones.
those are people who understand like this is a game that is not necessarily broken, but I don't like it for these reasons, and then I can see that instead of a 1 that's like this is like the board game
ones are
beatdown.
pointless.
This is a piece of garbage, and I'm going to burn it in a fire.
That's the whole point.
And
I think
it's
of the beatdown is more like, okay, these are obviously not still
They're not taking it seriously.
But yeah, it's like it's definitely just
or even
ridiculous.
the other end, like a 4, right? If someone rates a game a 4, that means they like never want to play the game again. I want to know it, but also took the game seriously enough to not just click a 1 because that's what everybody does.
Yeah, a 4
rather
requires
love something
thought.
or hate something.
A 4 is
so those 4 and
thinking.
6s and 7s, I feel like might be the best reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Of games.
10s are just like goggles,
Yeah.
right? 1 is goggles.
Yeah.
Just different way.
So let's talk about the negatives of this game.
Okay.
All right. Did that seriously just happen? That's cool.
Yeah, why not?
That was like
So,
a segue.
Yeah.
I think at some point it's going to feel samey.
Same day.
Yeah.
I don't know. So Devin and I only saw not even half the cards through our game because, you know, there's a big stack of cards and we're only putting at most 14 and seeing some come up and you can discard them. So is that stack of cards just more of the same, or is it going to add, you know, different things? I'm just going to have 3 volleyball courts. Am I going to have 2 food trucks on my thing? Am I going to, you know, is it just going to add the same over and over again and then just play the same over and over again, but with slightly different cards? And and Ryan, you led into this earlier. There's nothing about the game was new. Nothing was like, this is a fresh take on something, but nothing was wrong with it.
Yeah.
Right? It was, okay, there's this tableau building. I've done this tableau building. I've built stuff in a row where things connect and they have to be next to each other doing this thing. I've drafted cards. You know, I think the newness to this was the look. The theme of a beach is cool. Each player does start, again, not new, does start with their own kind of, their own way to score points differently than someone else, so that's neat.
Yeah.
But nothing was like, wow, this is a revolutionary new...
Were you looking for something like that?
I kind of was, because I think I got overhyped a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this...
Yeah, like, what is it that everyone
look at
loves
how
about it?
awesome this is. And again, I liked it. I would throw it in that 7 category of like, here's my ranking, where I'll play it again for sure. It's going to stay in my collection because for a 30-minute game that Devin and I can play, that has a little more meat on it than some other games.
Yeah, for sure. Filler plus, maybe.
Yeah, it's in a good filler plus time range of that, and it's so easygoing. I'll never read the rules again. So there's a lot of positives.
That's good.
Some
I do like
negatives.
that. So it's probably in the 90% of the 10%.
Yeah.
It's not crap, but it's...
Good to have in your collection.
Yeah.
I don't know if I wouldn't call it in my top, 50, right?
I wonder if I can speak to something real quick that you just mentioned in there about it doesn't do anything new. I wonder if as we were talking about, was it last episode's Nook subject about the influx of board games and
we were talking, that was the last
changes
was that
in
last
the industry.
episode?
Yeah.
I wonder if the influx in board games because of Kickstarter or whatever reason has caused, because you know how we talked about how like if your game is not artistically beautiful now, it's hard to get noticed.
Yeah.
Which, okay, Santa Monica, check, right?
Yep.
I do think a lot of the time, we are looking for what does this game do differently? I wonder if that also hurts the game, and not hurts, That's not the word I want to use. I wonder if that hinders some games from getting the attention they deserve because they don't do anything new. You know what I mean? Because like there's games like when Clank came out, for instance. Clank came out after the craze of the deck building mechanism, right?
Right.
It didn't really do anything new necessarily. It had a board, which Trains had a board, right? I mean, it had the Clank mechanism, I guess, which you could say was new. But there's other things that like fill your deck up.
I think what Clank did was almost take a couple things that weren't new and put them then together to make it feel new. And something that came to my mind when you think about it is like Lost Ruins of Arnak or Dune Imperium.
Right. Those don't do anything new.
Nothing is new about that game. But when I'm playing a deck builder that for both Dune and Arnak, that maybe building the deck is not important. Is not the most important thing, but it is.
Yeah, it's an element.
But when you think of like when you think of deck builder like Thunderstone or Dominion, you got to build a deck.
And even that's been done. I mean, you think of a game like Mage Knight. Mage Knight is this big, huge board game with a deck building component. Like there's other games that do have that. I think Arnak and Dune, they seem to get like the secret sauce. Like you just said a minute ago. They do that plus worker placement, plus they got this theme, plus it's only an hour and a half.
Yeah,
plus
man, it's like they killed it.
This formula is perfect.
Yeah.
But I wonder because like there's sometimes I would love to play a new game that's just like an old school worker placement game. You know?
Yeah.
Like I would like that, and I wonder if the industry is it seems like the industry is kind of getting away from that. Not necessarily worker placement, but just you're not doing anything brand new, so I don't care about you. I think that is something that has kind of made designers go like, what are we going to do now? We got to top ourselves.
And which can be good and bad.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. You want some of that.
You're going to miss a lot.
Progress,
but
at the same time, it's like I would hate for like a really awesome game to miss out just because it's using mechanisms that maybe have been used in the past, even though it's a really there's other things that are good about it. Anyway, I just randomly thought of that.
Yeah, no, that's good. So Santa Monica, I would say, with the size of my collection and with the amount of games that we all play, I'll play it occasionally. But if you have like a small, tight collection, this game is in there and you love it, I understand. I get it. I get it.
Look, the man knows.
But I got a couple other games in my collection that do similar things that I also enjoy. So this would then become in that rotation of the other games. Like I want to play Between Two Castles because I want to build Tableau and maybe have a little more interaction. Or I want to play Isle of Skye because I love that Tableau building, but also the auction.
Auction.
So there's
cool.
Santa
Monica. Awesome, man. What else you been playing?
I've been playing some games. I want to talk about King of 12.
King of 12. One we can talk about.
This game is called King of 12, not King of Tokyo. If you type in King of in board game,
King of Tokyo will come up. I'm going to do
Tokyo
that right now.
Going to come up.
Comes up.
And King of
Tokyo. Castles of Mad King Ludwig comes up next because I don't know. Isle of Skye comes up next. Did this computer just hear the last three games you said?
They're listening.
King of New York, King of Tokyo, In the Hall of the Mountain King, Super Dungeon Explorer, Forgotten King, Between Two Cats. So what is this one called? King of 12? It's not even in the top.
So it is brand spanking new. But sometimes on Board Game Geek, you literally type in the name of the game, and it's like the third option.
I just typed in King of 12. I hit enter.
And it took you to something.
It took me to King of Tokyo. Oh, okay, no.
Okay. So King of 12 is a new game from Lucky Duck, and probably a whole bunch of other publishers.
What a good publisher like lately. Lucky Duck has been on Fuego.
Yes. And I think a lot they've gotten also games that
I said on.
that other publishers have done, but they seem to release here in the United States and maybe, but like It's a Wonderful World, I know necessarily wasn't their publisher,
right,
but they then got it distributed, and that's a huge game, right?
Yeah.
And their Kickstarters are always just great.
Booming.
All the Chronicles of Crime is
that's
Lucky
their
Duck.
evergreen, right?
Yeah, Chronicles of Crime is such a great game.
That's like their big one that people know, and I think that's the type of game where you're like, oh my gosh, this game is so cool. It's got the VR stuff, and then you're like, who made this game?
Yes.
Lucky Duck. What else do they do? Yep. Like that's the kind of game that makes you do that.
That's it. And now Ryan and I were just talking about a game that Kickstarter backers are just now getting that we're going to talk about very soon because Ryan and I are both going to play it.
I'm getting it tomorrow.
Called Destinies, which is
You're gonna eat tomorrow?
Looks awesome. It's got like a Chronicles of Crime sort of thing where you're scanning QR codes, but it's in a fantasy RPG sort of
Oh, cool.
game.
Setting.
It seems
It's got miniatures we can paint.
It seems awesome. It's got miniatures Ryan can paint for me. Oh, yeah. So, but that's not this game. This game is called King of 12, and King of 12 comes in a tiny box. It is a card. I would call it a trick-taking game. What would you think? Trick-taking card?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's definitely trick taking because there is a winner of every round has a trick.
Yep, that's
that
true.
Eddie gets.
You play a card,
But it's not
somebody wins
necessarily
the
like
round.
with suits or with numbers.
Don't
Yeah,
think
it's
like euchre or spades.
Yeah,
or
don't
Right,
something
it's a
like that.
different take on trick taking.
Yeah, it's a different take on trick-taking. Well done.
Noise. That's
So
real noise.
this one actually, so the way that you win the trick in King of 12 is for the most part to have the highest die roll. So everybody starts the trick by rolling their die, and then everyone by themselves looks at their own hand of 7 cards, which everyone has the exact same 7 cards. It comes with, I think, oh gosh, is it 12? No, King of 12 would be the 12-sided die. It comes
How
with
many?
maybe
There's a bunch of cards. Well,
yeah, there's
There might be
there's
12. I think there's
because
12.
we took out 5, right?
I think
and we
so.
played with 7.
Okay.
Yep.
So it comes with, so you can kind of rotate in, but everyone starts with the same
Yeah,
7. And code 7, the Frenza, yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
so after you roll the die, you pick a card in your hand, and that card does something to the die in front of you. So it might double it, it might add value, it might subtract value, it might let you re-roll or turn it to another side or just do things.
Change the rules of the game.
Change the rule of the game, or move your die number to the person on your left and rotate, do that kind of stuff. So it manipulates the dice that are in front of you. And one of the ones, like Ryan said, it changes. Maybe the lowest person wins, or maybe the second highest person wins. So it kind of alters everything.
Is there one that you trade dice?
Yeah, there's one
Oh,
that
that
rotates
sounds-
that rotates the die.
that's
So
interesting.
I might play like a subtract one or an add one to mine. Think like, oh, I rolled a 10.
Yeah,
now I'm going to
sweet.
add, and Natalie shifts this
I'll
one
slip
over to
'em.
me, right?
Yeah.
So
Swip isn't a word.
and then basically whoever has for the most part, unless a different card is played, the highest die at the end of the card actions gets 2 points. Whoever has a second gets 1 point. And
Whoever's
you
third
do
gets
that
0.
over and over again until there's 1 card left in your hand, or someone gets 8 points, and then they have won the round. So they have won toward the end game, and you do that until someone has 2.
How many does this play?
It plays 4, which seems like to me it could be like
Yeah, I'm surprised
6.
it doesn't
Yeah,
play.
like,
I wonder
why can't it
why
play
it doesn't
more?
play.
Yeah, I don't know if like maybe the cards get messy with
Yeah.
like play testing,
Yeah.
like how do these kind of mash up? Like we spent a little bit of time trying to work these 2 cards at
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
That was
time.
played
me,
at the
guys.
same time.
But so it plays in 15 minutes, and I think the cards are very cool. It's unique. I've never played a game that, it's almost like pick a number and roll it, or roll the highest wins. But here are these cards. Maybe I know that Natalie rolled a 1, so she might play the card that says the lowest wins. So let me subtract number for mine. You can go above 12, you can go below 0. And I like the idea that you're playing the die in front of you, but also trying to play the people. I'm trying to play Ryan to figure out, all right, you think Ryan would double his value or just add 5? And then I'm only 2 back, so what do? I kind of liked that idea. I thought the same thing, so I played it twice now about, shouldn't this play more? Like, couldn't this game play more?
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't.
So I would be intrigued, maybe.
Doesn't seem like it would matter, but
It doesn't seem like it would matter.
you don't have enough cards, I guess.
Yeah, so I think
Right.
with 4, that's probably the best player count. I think 4 would be, because you just have more dice at the table.
This
You're
is
more
Lucky Duck,
competition.
but you're saying Lucky Duck just distributed this?
I think you might want to double check. I don't know this off the top of my head.
The only
but-
thing I was saying, I was like, so very quick aside, I've been, working on a couple games, and Jeremy, the original co-host of mine for the show, has
Hey, Jeremy.
done a lot of, what's up, Jeremy? Has done a lot of, he has experience in getting games published. And he said a lot of publishers will, cost is a big deal, right? So maybe there's a thing where, okay, these are really nice big cards. You know, printing 2 to 3 more copies of these cards
Yeah,
Sure.
per
Yeah, that-
true.
set would maybe increase the price a little bit. That might be not at all what's happening. But I had never thought about it that way until talking with Jeremy about design. And he's like, "Oh, this would be great, but if you could just make it into cards and not have a board, the publishers will be more likely to take it."
That makes
I'm
sense.
like, wow.
Or does that? Another thing I thought of, does it creep into a 30-minute game and then it's too long?
Right,
Does it
maybe it's
overstay its welcome
longer,
at
yeah.
6?
Possibly.
I'm always interested in seeing your journey of the samurai and
Yeah.
and understanding, like, man, games just changed so much from the beginning.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
what did this game look like when the designer
when it
was
first started?
Let's play this game.
Yeah,
right? Are
I
they
got
rolling a
this idea.
6-sided die? Were they rolling 100? You know,
Yeah, like why 12?
yeah. I just think it's were they playing with 7 people at the table and going, well, damn, this is taking
not
a long
fun.
time.
Although it's
Let's-
interesting to see because everything happened simultaneously. So I wonder what would be the reason. Maybe just the AP and picking your card.
Well, no, it'd
Which
probably
I'm not-
take longer because, let's say like Jeff gets a point, then you get a point, then this person, then this person,
Right.
then this person, where there's only 3 of us. So like pretty quickly, one of us is going to get 2.
You're right. The way the points
Yeah.
work is definitely why it would take longer. Good point. Good
So
point.
my overall thought is I think it's a good game for what it is. For a 15-minute like quick end of the game night, beginning of a game night, someone's about to show up, that kind of thing. You could play it with family. There are simple cards in there. You don't have to have the like swapping from lowest to highest. I think you could play this with the kids if you took out some of those cards
Yeah,
where it
did
was
the
just
simplest
adding
ones.
and subtracting, right? Doubling, re-rolling. If you
Right.
just took that set and you played with the kids, I think you could do that. Try to get the highest. How are you going to play to get the highest?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of neat. So it'll stay around. It's a small box. And what did you guys think of it?
Can I go next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked this game.
I wasn't sure you were going to say that.
I didn't think he was going to say that either.
Yeah, surprise.
I thought it was going to be like, can I go next? This game sucks.
It made me feel stupid.
I am subverting expectations. I really like this game. It did make me feel stupid, but that doesn't always mean I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So it made me feel stupid, and this is going to sound like it doesn't make any sense. In a way, I kind of enjoy. So I wanted to jump in and interrupt Jeff so badly when he was talking about this one aspect of the game, which was
can do
my
that.
favorite thing of the entire game. But I was like, no, wait until it's your turn. You can wait.
job.
It's only a couple
Hold him
minutes.
back.
I'm growing. Why?
Where?
Not
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So Jeff talked about the aspect of the game where you are. I guess maybe this is where the entire meat of the game is, where you've rolled your die, and now you're looking at what card to pick, knowing, or like, what are they going to pick? I'm pretty sure Jeff's going to do this, which means Natalie's going to probably do that, and if she does that, I have to play this card. But I'm like kind of throwing my eggs in one basket. If I play this card and Jeff plays that card, then it's worthless and I lose. And I really enjoyed that thought process. I was sitting, like, it took me considerably longer to pick than the two of you guys. And
It's okay.
it was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed that. And when it doesn't pay off, it's frustrating. But when it does, it's sweet. You know, like there was a couple times and, I got completely unluckily screwed because of a die roll. Like I played this card and I was like, yes, that was sweet. I got to turn my die to only one higher than her, which guarantees me pretty much 99% guaranteed the victory in this round. Jeff rolls a die, gets the one number.
That you did.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I still get a point. But I really like that. It gave me a love letter vibe, and it didn't play exactly like love letter, but it gave me a love letter
I
vibe.
agree.
And I love letter.
Love
And Natalie loves love letter
Love
as
it.
well. We love playing love letter together. This game gave me that vibe, and I wanted to keep going. After the first round, I was kind of like, I don't know. And we played the second round, I was like, yeah, okay, now I know. I do know.
get it.
I like it.
And
Well,
what-
I liked it. I was kind of like, I like this. But I was like, maybe it's not as good, though. I can't tell. And we played the second round. I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's good.
It's good.
This is good.
And one thing you didn't mention is another thing of how you're playing people is if Ryan and I played the same card, or if the same cards are played, they cancel each other out and don't do anything.
Yeah.
To the
Now,
dice.
that's cool.
So that's like, if I just look at it and I'm like, well, if Ryan plays 7 and I play 7, I'm going to beat him.
Yep.
But if we both play, and it's like now they
You
cancel
both
out, and
win.
Natalie jumps us, and we, or if at the end of the round we have the same dice value, they cancel each other out, and
That
Natalie
seems
wins.
like
so that's kind of neat.
That
Yeah.
seems like it might have been added as a design choice to deal with that.
Yeah, I
Like,
would
well, how do we
think so.
deal with the fact that
Yeah.
he rolled 10, I rolled 11? I can just, if we play the same card, I'm just going to beat
It
him.
basically removes ties, right?
Yeah.
There's no tying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no like, oh, well, I get 2 points and you get 2 points. So
Yeah,
it's-
that's
I would-
really
that's
funny.
cool.
Yeah, I liked the game. It doesn't break any new barriers or anything like we talked about before
Right.
with Santa Monica. It's not like reinventing any wheels. It's definitely different. I don't really think there's anything out there in the trick-taking genre that does what this does. Like I said, it gave me a love letter vibe. But I don't think I'd reach for this every second, but I would. It plays 2.
Yeah.
I would play it with just
Yeah.
the two of us. I think it would be fun. I enjoy this game. What did you think?
This is why we can't play Unlock and Exit together, because I feel like everything that I had in my head to say, you like said it.
We have the same brain.
But yeah,
One brain.
One brain to rule them all.
Trick-taking games are probably
When
one
you
of
come,
my
I come.
favorite. What did you just say?
Well, there's welcome to the Children's Gamecasters.
I know.
Here.
Earlier I said fucking,
Just stay
and I was
tuned.
like, oh no.
Yeah. Stay tuned for the children's segment.
Yeah, when you hear the children's segment and I talk about, I didn't even say a swear.
Yeah, not one swear in this episode.
We recorded that part
Swear to
first.
swear. Yeah, the fourth wall's been broken.
Anyways, trick-taking games are one of my top favorite mechanics. I love trick-taking games. I love all trick-taking games. I love euchre. I love like Fox in the Forest. I love Love Letter.
Love letter.
Custom Heroes is one of your favorites.
Custom Heroes.
is
Like
phenomenal.
anything with
You didn't like the
trick-taking.
bottle imp.
I don't even remember that.
And
Who's
Claim.
the bottle imp?
Remember that?
No.
This is funny.
But yeah.
No, you do.
I
You
love
do
trick
definitely
taking
like those, for
and
sure.
this one, like you said, it's similar to Love Letter, which is amazing.
We love,
but this one,
love
Yeah.
letter.
just like the Crew, almost it reminds me of that, not because it's like the Crew, but because it's like trick taking with a twist. Like it has dice, which trick taking games don't normally have.
True.
And just like you said, my favorite part about the trick taking games with a twist is that it's not just like who wins the trick. It's like, okay, we have these special rules and, you know, all this extra stuff that you have to think about. And so, and even kind of like Love Letter, there's only a set number of cards that everybody has the same of, or, you know, Love Letter, it's just a number of the same set of cards that are in the game. And so you can kind of like deduce what somebody else might do, because you're like, I know this person and this person already played these cards, so they can't play that. So if I could play this, I think I might, you know what I mean? And that whole thought process of this game is really fun.
Yep, and I like that. I think it's Libertalia, where you have everybody has the same hand of cards. When you play one, that's out, and now you only have
Because you might just kind
that's
of
another
like, I
different
think I'm
thing,
going to lose this round. Like I kind of know what Ryan's going to play. I kind of know what Natalie's going to play. I don't think I'm going to need this card later in this. Let me just kind of get rid of it and be like, well, I lost that one. Move
and that
on.
also brings deduction in. There was a moment, and I knew it, and that's what I liked. That's one of the things I really liked. Okay, so I played these two cards, and Jeff saw me play them, you know, because he's involved in the trick. And so then on the next round, he's like, well, I know Ryan doesn't have those two cards in his hand, so then I'm safe to play this card because I know those ones can't hurt me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Natalie had one of the two already played, so you were pretty much like, okay.
I would have gotten a point on that one no matter what.
You're
right?
like,
because,
boom. And it's like simple deduction that happens just by paying attention to what
But it's
cards
also cool,
people-
like you roll a dice, which is random, but then after you roll the dice and you get to look at everybody's, then you get to pick your card and think about
So that
what
part
they might do, what might happen.
If I had a least favorite moment or part of the game, it might be that. The only times, there was a few times
Might be
where
just rolling the die.
on the die
Okay.
roll, I'm like, okay, based on what's rolled, what cards I know they've played and what I have left, I don't know that it's going to be easy. Like this one's kind of
Like I
screwed.
lost, yeah.
Like I'm kind of screwed with
Yeah.
this one based on my numbers. I don't know what else you would do. That's a nitpick.
Sure.
That's like
Yeah.
I just remember thinking as we were playing, like, well, that's a bummer. Like I know I'm pretty much out of this one because I have this. Jeff's got that, and Natalie has that.
And I can
they have
only
these
do this
cards.
to
I can
my
only
die,
exactly. I
Yeah.
can only do this.
But like
so
you
that's kinda
said,
more-
it's like a quick little
it takes
game,
so long.
that doesn't.
So quick. No game is perfect. Okay,
away from it
and
too much.
I don't think this is even close to a perfect game. But you know, every game's going to have something that somebody doesn't like about it.
And like Natalie said, with all these trick-taking games, it's, again, doing something different is going to keep this game on the shelf, and it's going to make me bring it to game night. Because if I have 10 trick-taking games that all feel the same, I'm going to pick one that I love.
Yep.
That all is just like card, highest card, this symbol wins, right? But now I have a trick-taking game with dice. Okay, that's different. Now I have a trick-taking game like Custom Heroes where I change my cards. I slide new cards
Yep.
in. Now I have a trick-taking game where the crew are working together.
Yeah.
Right.
How cool, right? So I'm liking
Chase,
some of
isn't it?
these. Yeah,
Time
I just
Chase.
wrote Time
Yeah, I
Chase
like
down.
that.
Where you can
I
go
thought
back
that
and
too, yeah.
win old tricks.
Yep, that
how
is a cool mechanism.
Because
That was cool.
no one's, you know, if you're in this hobby like we are, you know, we're not playing hearts.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
I still love playing euchre, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
for
But that's
sure.
Yeah.
it's different. I like
Yeah.
that they're
That's nostalgia too.
that again
Yeah.
they're taking this mechanic and kind of doing something.
Yeah, they're twisting it a little bit. So that's, what is that called? King of 12.
King of 12.
I like that one, dude.
I think soon. I think you're going to be able to get your hands on it pretty soon.
I would happily play it again. I'll say that.
I would too.
All right, man, you're up. What do you got next?
Oh my gosh, it's me.
Who you?
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
We're on vacation. We're not playing games.
What are you guys doing?
We're not even here.
I'm still playing games. So I played a game a few weeks ago called Beyond the Sun. And I think we're actually going to play it soon. Joe might pick it on the next game night. So
Okay.
I'll update you with some feelings.
If you hate it, then that's a bummer. I'm sorry. If you like it, that's sweet, dude.
Yeah. So Beyond the Sun was kind of got some buzz.
Yeah, I remember.
At the early this year, end of last year, sort of time frame, and it quickly. I don't know how publishing goes, but they might have got a small print run, right? Like, all right, let's see how this game goes, and then it went quick
immediately.
And now I believe that because of its success, it's coming up on a second print.
But I think you still can't get it right now.
Yeah, is it Rio Grande? Is that the publisher?
Yeah,
and they're always a little.
Yeah, there's two others, Madigo and Stroman.
No,
games.
Madigan.
Oh, Madigan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Madigo is French, I believe. So I guess it depends on where you are. But if you're here or most of the places, it's Rio Grande. And,
Rio Grande.
And I believe that they're about to run a second print run of this. Joe was lucky enough to find this at like an FLGS in Illinois. So he walked into a store and it was like massive. He sent me a video. It was like
the biggest one.
They had 5 times the amount of games that RAW are
your
local. And it was he showed videos. It was kind of cool. It was almost like it almost had like different rooms. It was almost like a big house that you're walking through, and it's set up where all these games are. So it was very cool.
It's also an escape room.
Yeah. You get lost in there.
Escape
and
without buying a game. Yeah. Just try.
So right? You have to. They lock you in.
Or else you work here.
Yep.
Here you go, sell some games.
So he was lucky enough to get it, and I was happy that he got it because it was definitely something that I wanted to play. So if you look on BGG, this has an 8.0 on BGG.
Yeah.
2100 rating. Wow. So that means it's beyond the
sun.
The whole it is beyond the sun.
Good one.
It's past the whole bunch of fives or whatever the algorithm that it does. So that means it's good, right? Because I play a lot of games that will show like 9.0, and then when people rate it, it knocks it back down
ratings,
to that 7.5.
That's still not a ton of ratings, but it's enough that it's like
and it's still fairly new, and with people
450 comments.
So. Yeah, with people not getting their hands on it as fast as they probably want.
Yeah.
Again, that might come down to that high 7 range, which is a popular landing.
Yeah, anything in the 8s is like holy.
That you're
cow.
Like top something.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen often.
But the designer is Dennis Chan. If you click on him on BGG,
K. Chan.
This is his first credit.
I was like, also the designer of Nothing.
Wow. Right now, if you look at his list where it's the designer, it's Beyond the Sun and Beyond the Sun promo card, where they just add that. Yeah. But this is his first design, and maybe other ones have failed or whatnot. But this is the first one on BGG, so I don't know his life. This is impressive to do this in your first design.
That's cool.
To have that 8.0 to probably be high 7s at the end of all of it.
That's gotta feel good.
Good for him. Maybe he should just call it quits.
Yeah, him and the Terra Mystica people
just
get together and start a club.
We're out. Here's this game. Goodbye. Enjoy. So Beyond the Sun is a space exploration game. It advertised itself as like a Civ game. It's not. It's a fraction of a Civ game. It's a tech tree game.
Oh, right. This is the tech tree one.
Yeah, it's a tech tree game.
That's all it is a tech tree.
It's fun. It's basically boiled down. So
the most fun part of a Civ game.
If you think I'm going to be, area majority and fighting. And no, this is a tech tree game.
What is a Civ game?
Civilization.
Yeah.
So it's
right. I feel like I asked that last week.
That's okay. Sorry. No, people don't know. So thank you.
I was thinking SIV. I'm like, what does that stand for?
Civ.
Yeah. So think of in Tapestry, how Tapestry kind of took a civilization game and shrunk it down and distilled it. This part of the tech tree would be those outer tracks that you're moving up. You know how you increase, now I have space exploration, you do something. So that's this part. But the tech tree of this game is obviously much greater than just moving up
It's interesting
tracks.
to me, and I'm interested to hear how you're going to say, if it's distills a Civ game down to just a tech tree, what do you do with the tech?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, which is interesting. So,
getting more tech.
There are 2 boards. So the one board is massive, and it's the tech tree. So it's broken down to level 1, 2, 3, 4 technologies.
Okay.
And you kind of start on the far, I'm just going to picture it in my head, the far left of the board, which is
the West.
like no tech. You're like boring,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then as you develop tech, you're then moving into sort of level 1s, level 2s, level 3s. So, and then the other board that's next to the tech is space exploration, exploring different planets, which is one thing you do with technologies.
I see.
So you're now flying these little ships, trying to get majority on these planets on the planet board. With me so far?
Okay, so there is some area
so.
majority.
Yes. So you take turns basically moving your pawn and to any free action space. So the action spaces, there are the normal ones that everyone starts with, like your level 0 technology sort of.
Okay.
And then whenever you develop a technology, you can then go to that space if you'd like to activate that technology, which might give you resources or let you move on the planet board or get you more workers to then turn into to make pilots to then fly them into the planet. So you have to have developed that technology in order to move onto that space.
Okay.
So unlike a game like Arnak or Lords of Waterdeep or something like that, where the action space becomes uncovered and then it's for everybody, this is not like that. So I can uncover a technology card, and now I have my little cube there to indicate that this is my technology. I can go there.
Right.
So you wouldn't be able to go there until you took an action to say, I will also want to uncover that technology.
Okay.
Okay.
So the cards start, well, they're face down, sort of. So think of it as basically a blank board. And when you go to invent a technology, you draw these cards from this deck. You pick one of them and you put it down there, and now that's the spot. So you don't have to, if Ryan's like, well, that's not part of my strategy, I'm not going to go to that space. Why waste the turn to develop that technology?
Yeah.
I'll try to develop another one. So the actions are, again, kind of pretty simple. You're moving around the space board. You're gaining workers, which allow you to increase technology. So you have to have a worker to increase to develop a technology. And a lot of that is done on your player board. So your player board, which I'll get to a negative in a moment. But yeah, right.
Dramatic.
I should write that down before I forget, because I just thought about it as being a negative.
I hate this part of the game.
Yeah, I hate this. So the player board's kind of neat. I'm gonna describe it poorly, but there's sort of like columns, like A column, B column, C column, D column, and you're pulling workers from these columns, and there's a sort of a management system. Like you might be able to get. You're only taking the workers from. You only take one worker from each column on your turn, and if you don't have a worker there, you can't take that. You can't take a worker. So you're sort of managing these columns full of these cubes.
This is on
which are
your player
workers.
board?
Yeah. And so I might only have a technology that allows me to take people from the A column or the B column.
Okay.
So if I don't have any workers in the A, B column because they're already out, I don't get to take any workers. So
Are
I
the
have to
workers
find
dice?
Sort of. Yeah. No, they're
Cubes.
Okay, yes, they're dice, but they don't have numbers.
Yeah.
They're just dice with symbols on them.
Got it.
So the symbol would indicate when I turn that worker into a plane, I put it on then the space
Okay.
board,
Okay.
right? Or if it's a worker, or if it's a so I just kind of move it around there. So that's kind of the you have to work your player board a little bit and manage those columns, as well as kind of manage the technology
kinda
and
seems really fun.
the space board.
It does
Yeah.
seem fun.
So the way the game ends, and this is again simplifying a longer game, but there are common objectives that everybody sees, and once a certain amount of them have been met, then the game ends. So there's no set rounds. It's
okay.
as soon as someone, it's part of it is like developed all the level 2 technologies, or someone finds a level 4 technology, something like that.
You're going to find that similar to On Mars when you
I was
play
going to
that.
say on
Okay.
Mars,
Which I'm cool with that. I like the ending of that game. So let's talk about it. Overall, I liked it.
Okay.
I'm very interested to play it again. So the way that Joe and I played it is that there's like a beginner, I don't want to call it beginner, that's not the right word, but basically like your first play,
your first
play it like
do it
this.
this way.
Yeah.
For
Your
sure.
second play,
Yeah.
you can add in these
Yeah,
kind of things.
there's nothing
So
wrong
the first thing we did is, all right, I'm going to go to the space that allows me to uncover a level 2 technology, right? I go here to level 2, I take my 2 cards, and I look, and I go, okay, well, which one's best in the moment? So then I add that there, and then Joe goes to another one and picks one that then allows him to take majority in the space thing that I was going to do on my next turn. And I'm like, well, damn. Why did he get that card and I didn't get that card in the moment? So the way that the more advanced game tells you to do is basically have this board and the technologies are laid out in advance, sort of.
So you can see them?
So you can see them. So you know that this level 2 technology is going to be one of these 2 cards or one of these 2 cards. So I'm really interested to play that.
Is that was one of your big negatives?
Yeah, because I didn't know, and it happened to both of us where like we both kind of got screwed out of certain things, but in a game like this, I like the idea that I can plan for those technologies. I want that level 4 technology. I'm going to build my strategy around getting that one first or getting to that place first. And then also looking at the board and going, all right, if I have majority on this planet, which is important because you can like take your turn to colonize one of those planets and you get points and whatever, and more powers and cool things like that. If I know that, Joe can't do that. He can't flip over a card and beat me in the majority.
Yeah.
Or because he doesn't have enough workers, right? So you can kind of, I think, play the game more than play the flip of the card. So there'll be a little more strategy versus some tactical movements, which I'm excited to try out. But the game itself is really, really solid. Like, I don't disagree with that 8-point rating on Board Game Geek. And with all there's a ton of cards. We didn't even see all the cards. There's a lot of variability. The combinations are great. I think that, I needed to maybe explore more of the early technologies. I went like really hard on going on the space board.
Yeah.
Which took up some turns, but maybe I should have done technology first and then the space.
Did you not do well?
So I didn't do well, but it wasn't like having a nail. I wasn't like destroyed.
You were like the lowest score you've ever seen.
But I like that I didn't do well, but I understand my next strategy. I understand, okay, this is how I'm going to play this next time. And then the next time it will be different. And the next time it will be different because of the variability of cards, technologies, how people are going to play. The space board is really cool because every time you kind of colonize a planet, you get a card. And a lot of the cards, which also have points, but a lot of the cards will give you kind of like a little power, which Ryan loves.
I do.
So a little power could be cool, or like a bonus action right away, which can then trigger some cool things. So I liked that part of it. I thought that was great. And a couple negatives. I think the art is just miserable. The player board is like sterile white.
Yeah, just like a white.
And that obviously is an artistic choice. It's not mine. I would have loved some more iconology. I would have loved some more space theme, but this was like sterile white. Here's your board. It is white. It says your name on the top in a red font, and that's it. My dice were white. Joe at least had blue dice. Yeah. So I'm looking at just like a boring kind of board.
It's like a spreadsheet.
And I just thought that was kind of a miss. But again, if it's like technology and you're thinking about when people assume like, oh, in the future, right? Everything is like that.
Yeah.
You watch a futuristic movie, everything is that like clean, white, shiny sort of thing. So I understand it's definitely an artistic choice. I just didn't enjoy it. And I would have kind of gotten into my player board a little more if
had it been
prettier.
a little more cooler looking.
Yeah. So that was one of my negatives, and the other ones being I would say if you're going to play this game, I think you jump right in and you just play with the tech tree open.
Yeah,
and
don't
then
do
you
that
pick the
beginner
cards.
thing.
Yeah, unless you really just want to just play a fun game. But like Joe and I are gamers.
I was going to say, you guys are experienced gamers,
right?
though.
Well, we could have jumped in, and a lot of times I read the rules and it says for your first play do this, and I read the rules and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I really want to do that?
Like I don't want to play the baby's first game because honestly, this might be the only time I play this game.
True.
So I want the game experience. So I believe that Joe is going to pick the next time we play it. He's going to have the more known tech tree sort of thing. So
cool.
That was Beyond the Sun.
That's cool. That actually, to be honest with you, sounds more interesting than I expected it to. Mm-hmm. I think I would enjoy playing that.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I think it would surprise you that you liked it.
I do like tech trees.
Yeah.
Because a tech tree is basically, here's a power.
Yeah,
here's something cool you can do. That's like it's like the best part of it.
Here's something that only you can do, but I might have to pay a little more, right? If you're the first person to uncover technology, you get something right away.
Yeah.
And then it's like, damn, that one's good. I'm going to go there, but I don't get that little bonus, but now I can take the action.
Again, there's similar stuff to that in On Mars. There's like technology that you create. Everybody can use it in that game. But only if you have your level thing up the right way, and if you do, then you get a thing. You're gonna love On Mars too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's cool. So that's Beyond the Sun. Awesome.
Yeah, Beyond the Sun.
Long ago in the days of 2020, our good friend and fellow gamecaster Jeff the Mad Board Gamer bestowed upon us a series of games intended for children. One such game we just finally got around to playing was called Storytailors. Yes, you may know Storytailors as a Kinderspiel des Jahres nominee alongside Dragomino and that other one with the really long title. Did you know the design team responsible for Storytailors is also 2/3 of the design team responsible for Dragomino? You might not have known that. But, what's the other... So their names are their husband and wife or brother and sister or just two randos with the same last name. I don't know. Their names are Marie and Wilfried Fort. They are the designers of Storytailors and also 2/3 of the designers of Dragomino. Storytailors is a really cool conceptual game about telling a story, as you might guess, which takes place in an actual story book. Players go through the story, of which there are 10, I think, Natalie, in the base game, 10 stories?
Yes.
And during the story, we'll make decisions as to which characters play a part. Each story is about 6 cards long. Is that about right?
7 cards, and then there's some that are 10 cards that are called tricky.
Ooh, the
stories.
tricky ones. Let's get tricky. And each of those is like a page in the book. Each card you go through is like a new page in the book and has a new character introduced that will literally be placed into the book. It's like a super thick cardboard, and it has those plastic card holders like you'd find in a collectible card book to hold the story cards and the characters. So how it works is each player starts with a hand of 5 cards. These cards have different animals on them. During the game, the story will introduce a character, for instance, a swarthy sellsword, and each player has to look through their hand and pick out which they think would be the best character as the sellsword. Those cards all get shuffled together and placed in a single row. Then each player votes on them. This is kind of like Dixit, whichever one they think is the best iteration of the sellsword, not being allowed to vote for their own. And whichever card has the most votes earns some victory points for the player whose it was. And then the character gets slotted into the book and is the sellsword for the rest of the story, which is cool. We do that 7 times or more if you play with the tricky rules.
Yeah. You do it really actually 5 times because the first and last card.
Okay, that's why I said 6 because I was doing one less, so it's really 6. Okay. So anyway, you do that 5 times, you progress through the story, and then whoever has the most victory points at the end is the winner. There's also a cooperative version where instead of a single player getting points, either the entire team gets points or the game itself gets points, depending on whether or not there was a clear winning vote for the best card. It is very simple, very quick, and very intuitive. And before you hear what Natalie and I thought, I figured we'd have some special guests on to let you know what they thought. Hey, kiddos!
Hi! Hi!
You just heard from Cameron, Lexi, and Scarlett, who apparently I scared as she was in slumber.
Yeah.
Before that happened. So
Scared me.
I did.
She rang the bell.
I know. Okay, so before the episode, they're all sitting here with us at the table. And I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the game, and then I want you guys to all be quiet. And of course, the only one that really can't be quiet, her name is?
Scarlett.
Yes, Scarlett. So, all right, guys. You guys played Storytailors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember, you got to talk into the microphone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What I want to do, before we do anything, we haven't had you guys on the show in a long time, so let's introduce you again. So if you, my good sir, over there, can tell us your name, how old you are, and maybe what grade you're in. Oh, you know what? And also give us your favorite food.
I don't know what my favorite food is.
Well, let's go. Say the rest.
My name's Cameron, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm in 3rd grade.
And your favorite food is I don't know? I love I don't know. Do you guys like I don't know too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
you
likes
do?
I don't know. You should try it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Just said my favorite food.
All right, now you, little girl in the polka dots, can you tell us your name, how old you are, what grade you're in, and what is your favorite food?
My name is Lexi. I am in 1st grade.
Okay. How old are you, Lexi, in 1st grade?
I'm 7.
Okay. Do you have a favorite food?
Yes.
What would it be?
And that would be really easy. It's French fries.
She does love French fries. Can you imagine?
easy.
Yeah, it's very easy.
So
Don't say that.
French fries are gross.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lexi. Okay, we have one last person here that we need to talk to. What is your name? How old are you? And what grade are you in?
My name is Scarlett Jane.
How old are you?
4.
And do you go to school? They can't hear the nod.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite food, Scarlett?
Cold hot dogs.
Hot dogs
Okay.
are gross.
She likes us to just literally take the hot dog out of the package and hand it to her, and she eats it like a Slim Jim.
yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's delicious. So, you guys, we played Storytailors. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you have some thoughts about it that you would share with us, please? All of our listeners would love to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah? Cameron, do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor and tell me what you liked about the game?
I like that's very easy to play.
Oh.
And there's lots of animals like for random, and some of them can be really cool.
Do you remember any specific animals you liked?
Yeah, so when I was playing, someone had a dragon, and I really liked that.
That was cool.
Because, like, it's a mythical animal, and I didn't know that there were, like, mythical animals included in this
I didn't
game.
either. That was the only one I saw. There was like most of them were normal. There was one that none of us uncultured swines knew what it was, but I knew it was a real animal. But I didn't know what it was. Other than that, the dragon was the only mythical creature I saw. But that was cool. Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
There was a unicorn.
there's
That's true. Anything else you liked about it, buddy?
And then I also like that you have, like, different animals and, like, colors you can pick from. The voting's fun. It's kind of like Among Us.
Oh yeah.
But, like, it's kind of like the voting part in Among Us. But instead of voting stuff out, it's like the opposite for the voting stuff out. It's choosing it.
That's cool. Do you think this is a good game for kids?
Yeah.
How come?
Because there's like story, you could practice your reading in it. And there's also, like, if you're littler, you can learn your animals.
Yeah, okay. That's a good point.
What did you like better? Did you like the first game we played where we had points? Or did you like the second game we played where we were all on the same team?
I like the first game better.
What did you think about the poop card? And you got to eat your own poop. What did you think about that?
That was not a card.
What? But why'd you do it then? You didn't? I thought, didn't Cameron eat his own poop?
No.
What? Yes, he did.
He's the one who
Didn't he, Lexi? Didn't Cameron eat
he's
his
the
own
one
poop?
who always
Yeah,
talks
he
about poop.
Thank you, Cameron. Those were some really good thoughts. Hey, Scarlett, what did you like about the game?
I like when we're all in the same team.
You did? You like that better than competing against each other? Did you like anything else about the game?
I like flipping the cards.
Do you think this is a good game for kids?
Yes,
How come?
because I love the game.
Were there any animals that you really liked in it?
The giraffe.
You like the giraffe. Thank you for your thoughts on that. Lex Kathleen, it's time for
Hello.
you, 7-year-old. Do you have some thoughts on this game that you'd like to share with us?
Uh-huh.
What did you like about the game?
So what I liked about the game is that it was fun just, like, guessing stuff. Because it's just kind of fun because you can, like, guess what, like, the animals kind of are. And they kind of like choosing your ideas. On
Ooh,
the
you
cards.
do. I thought you'd like that part.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what...
Yours.
Well, I'll tell you mine in just a minute. But
I like picking it.
yeah, so the story card will tell you what kind of character we're all choosing. And then you're saying you liked the idea of, like, oh, which one of these will I pick?
Like when I did the zebra and, like, from...
Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah. So
What was the character we were picking?
the character was a mailman and, you know, Peppa Pig and...
Yep, I do, personally.
And Peppa Pig,
You're right. Zoe Zebra.
No.
Her dad.
Her dad does mail, so I picked a zebra.
Yeah. So, and since we all watched Peppa, she knew that we would know that the zebra was the postman, and she won. She won that round.
Yeah, I won. I had the most votes on the zebra. And it was just fun.
Okay. What do you think it's a good game for kids?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Hey, Cameron. Back to you, little man. Was there
Okay.
anything you didn't like about it?
I didn't like how, like, the game board was super duper small.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't see the cards closely enough, you think?
Yeah. Like, and there's, like, a huge stack of animal cards when there's just a small board. Like, even though, like, there's lots of stories.
Okay. Did you feel like we didn't see enough animal cards throughout the game?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Scarlett, do you have anything you didn't like about the game?
No.
Okay, Scarlett liked everything about it. Lexi, what about you? Do you have any thoughts? Back to me.
Back to me.
Okay.
Okay, so what I don't like about it is that, so the book part, I thought it would be just more funner.
The book part? The reading part?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought it would just be more like expressions, like more just like exciting.
Yeah.
That's what you meant. Okay. Like, you mean like...
Exciting and like it's just kind of a little bit boring on the reading part, but I just thought it would be like more
more interesting?
excited.
You thought you'd care more about the actual story?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's a really good point. One that I actually really agree with, which I'll talk about in a second. Is there anything else that you have to say that you maybe didn't like so much?
No.
Okay. Overall, Cameron, what would you rate it out of 10? If 10 is the best score, 1 is the worst, what would you rate it?
A 9.
Wow! You liked it that much. Scarlett, what about you? What would you rate this game?
115.
115. Wow, out of 10.
Whoa.
Wow, that's awesome. Lexi, about you?
Okay, I would rate mine like a 7.
Okay, that
7.
That's
very
a good
good.
answer.
I like that.
Like 1
Gotta talk.
million.
Oh, 1,000,000 out of 10. There was something really cute about 115. I love that. I love that. Okay, so real quick, we can get into what I liked and didn't like, and then we'll talk, Natalie, real quick about that. So I thought the look of the game was dynamite. It's clearly something the Spiel looks for, a fantastic presentation. The game looks and feels really good. The artwork is lush, fun, and funny at times, and the components are really, really high quality. Right, that book. Have you seen the book, Jeff?
Yes.
Jeff's gonna lean in a little bit. Okay, it's really sweet. You didn't play it, did you?
I have not played it.
Okay. It's really, really cool looking. The Dixit-style card game attached is really the best part of the game, in my opinion. It's really fun to see what card everyone picked, and is especially fun when every card is a good possibility. Just like Lexi was saying with what she liked, that was the best part, was when you knew what you had to pick, you could, like, looking for your card and go, okay, which one is the best version of this? Which is a kid's version of this game, another game called Dixit. What I didn't like. The bummer here is exactly what Lexi said, and it was the story. And it wasn't even that the story was bad. This is supposed to be the best part of the game, I would think, and none of us seemed to really care or really even remember what was going on between the cards. But my problem with it was the terminology they used was really strange. This game is marketed as 5+, but the words they used on these cards, which is what the kids are supposed to be searching their hands for, the terminology was really strange. Like, you would be like, the card would say, you have to pick a smarmy steerman. It's like, what the heck is that?
Or like a what was the one? A flightless burrow owner. You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
Jeff has something to say. Jeff, speak.
I have something to say. I will say that this game's been translated.
I was gonna
so
say.
it's not
Yeah, we thought that
originally
too.
an English game. It's
We thought
definitely a
that too.
French
Yeah.
game. So I'm not sure, maybe something was lost
The American
there,
version
possibly.
must be different. If it's not, this will sink, because there's no way. I mean, Cameron is 9, and there's no way he has any. I don't even know what a smarmy steerman is. We had to guess based on the context of the cards. You could guess, and so we were like, okay, this is like an angry person who is driving the boat, right? And so then the kids were like, oh, okay. It wasn't that you couldn't understand the stories. It was some of these things had to be explained, and
right,
it was.
they were using really big words, and that's not really good when you're playing with kids because they don't know what those words mean.
And so then when you have to constantly stop to explain, okay, we think what this flightless burrow owner is, you guys know what a burrow is, right? And they did we had to
You're like,
explain
it's like
that.
an animal probably that lives underground,
Yeah,
but also
he
can't
doesn't fly.
fly.
And so it just kind of takes you out of the immersion. So hopefully in the English version, I'll get to you in just one sec, Lexi. Hopefully in the English version, that is completely different. Lexi, Kathleen, what did you want to say?
So I wanted to say.
Sound like you're going to be like, so I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Yeah, so I agree with Dada. It just doesn't make sense a little.
Some of it I understand.
Yeah.
But actually, when Dada says, like, an angry steerman,
Yeah.
I get it, because I have to try to find, like, an angry person who's steering a boat.
Right.
Yeah, but if we just said
But-
angry
Yeah,
steerman,
if I just said
wouldn't you
smarmy
be like, what is
steerman, you'd
that?
be like,
I don't know what
pigeon?
Starmy. I don't know.
Smarmy. Yeah, right. Exactly. So
Exactly,
that's
that's the
that's the
point.
problem I'm talking about. It's not a huge deal, as we just had to explain the cards. But again, it just kind of takes you out of the immersion, and it's supposed to be a story-driven game. Again, take all of this with a grain of salt. We are playing the French version, which is just has translated to English cards. So I'm guessing the actual English version will probably not say Smarmy Steerman or Flightless Burrow Owner. That's my guess. But it's more than just the characters that talk that way. It's really the whole card kind of uses these, like, weird terminology that most children, I don't think, would just really know what it is. And so because of that, I think all of us didn't pay as much
Tuned
attention
out.
to tuned out to the story, because it's like, okay, I don't know that word. I don't really get that word. I don't care. They just cared about, like, okay, we're back to the game. Let's have fun with the game part. You wanted to say something, Scarlett?
I love everybody.
That's what you wanted to
Everybody
say?
loves everybody.
That's
Always.
so
We did
sweet.
it.
That is really Is that all you wanted to say, Scarlett? You sure? Okay. Yes, Lexi.
But other than that, the game is fun.
Okay, right. Agreed. Other than that, the game part's fun. The Dixit kind of game.
I love the game part, but that's why I rated it a 7.
I think that was a perfect and
I
very
think-
adult rating.
Yeah, I would agree
grown
with
up.
Lexi.
A grown-up rating. It was very grown-up. Thank you.
So, just other than the reading part, I still had a lot of fun.
Good. That's good. Yeah, we played it twice, and we had the game was awesome. The game part, we loved that. I wish the story part was better.
Yeah,
Right? For
Yes.
me, overall, that means
It
it's kind of meh.
just-
I'd rather play Dixit with them.
it just seemed
'Cause that's the game
kind of a little bit boring, but I was thinking it would be when I saw kind of when Natalie explained the rules. I think there was a book, and I thought there was a book,
Yep.
and I thought it would say something more just kind of exciting and interesting.
Right, and it just totally didn't. Yeah, I agree with you. Again, I thought that it was just kind of overall. If to Jeff's point, if the English version is translated better, then I think it would be a home run. I think if you actually were like, oh, what are we gonna do with this story? I think that would be really fun and cool if we cared about the story. The characters, again, they don't really do much. It's just more like, wow, that was my character, and now he's in the storybook the whole time. The other thing that I had an issue with, and again, maybe that's just this isn't a prototype though, right? It's just the French version. Is that right, Jeff?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so there's these sleeves that are in the book, the storybook, that you slot the character cards as you go through. You know this, I'm sure. And there's also sleeves that you slot the story cards into. They're kind of flimsy, and it's a kid's game. I know the adults and parents are playing with them. The adults are going to want to be the ones to handle that because those could rip very, very easily. They were pretty flimsy. I almost felt like if I put the card in a little too quickly, it could tear. I don't know how. I guess you could fix that with tape or something, or you could just maybe try to glue it back on. But if that's gone, that's a bummer because you're actually putting cards in the book, and that's
Right, it won't
kind of a big
stay.
deal. Yeah. Other than that, the game part I thought was great, and I want to thank you kids for reviewing the game. But can you stick around with us for a few minutes because we have something else?
Yes.
Oh, Natalie needs to go. Natalie, what did you think?
So I agree. I like the game part where you voted. To me, it kind of reminded me of a kid's version of Apples to Apple or even Cards Against Humanity. And so it's just fun, like Lexi said, even just revealing the cards. But the reveal's fun, we were like, okay, is this, angry postman a angry flamingo, or
Yeah.
is it an angry crocodile, or whatever? And
Yeah.
that part was fun, and like you said, that's what everybody was excited to get to. And the story part was boring. It did have big words, but mostly it was wasn't an interesting story. I'm curious to see. I can't imagine that it would be more interesting in French. I agree with the word and the translations might be because of the language barrier, but the story in general, nobody cared. We were almost don't even read that part. Just tell us what character to pick because that's the fun part.
I do think that though that's not. Everybody won't have that same opinion.
Yeah, maybe you're right. But I mean, it's funny because I feel like the idea in general is really cool. When I saw that little book and then we put the characters in.
Yeah, that's fun.
That was really cool. The book's really nice. The artwork's really cute. But I don't know. I kind of wish there was more interaction with the story, I guess. We're picking this character and then you flip the page and you never really see the character again.
Yep, agreed.
And
That's a good point.
but I'm also curious because the tricky stories that are in it that are longer, we didn't play one of those, but what I read was that those ones kind of give you some choices to decide which way the story goes. So I wonder if that would make it more interesting. But yeah, in general, it was an okay game. Part of it was fun, part of it wasn't. But I'm not sure, as an adult, I would enjoy
Grown
playing
up.
it again.
Yes, agreed. I'm with you. I think if the kids wanted to play it, Lexi seems to like it, Cameron seems to like it,
liked
Scar
it.
seems to like it, I would play it again with them.
Yeah.
I would never. I don't think I would.
I love you, Natty.
I don't think I would pick this game to play with them. If
Yeah,
I
we've had
a
much
choice.
more fun, I feel playing zombie kids and robots.
Robots is so.
I love robots. I want to play it so much, but like we don't have enough time to.
That's
We'll play
another
it
one of the
They
kid games that
never
Uncle Jeff
play
let us
it
borrow.
because Natalie and Dad need to paint. Because they have to paint.
We're neglecting the children so we can be in this
Paint our
painting
minis.
competition.
And they have to paint. And it's really fun.
That is awesome. Any last closing thoughts, Lexi, on what's this game? Storytailors.
Storytailors?
Any last remarks before we move on?
One sentence.
So that's just kind of why I would give it a 7.
I like it.
Because just a little bit, a lot of it is kind of good and a little bit is bad.
Okay, that's a 7 for you. That's a 7. A lot of good, little bad. Okay.
I don't know.
I know the thought of a segment with children seems ridiculous for us, but if you've noticed, there has not been a single swear this entire episode. Not even one swear. So this is an episode you can show your kids. So Natalie, what do you have for these little ones in our Natalie's Nook segment?
Today on Natalie's Nook, I just want to do a small interview of these kids about board games. And kind of a 4, a 7, and a 9-year-old. What do they think about games? What are their opinions on games? And so I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with
Get
the
ready, don't
oldest.
embarrass me.
Cameron,
Into the microphone.
what is your favorite board game?
I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Why don't you just tell me one you really like?
This game.
Okay, Storytailors. Okay. We did rate it a 9.
Yeah, that's true.
That's awesome.
Lexi, what's your favorite board game?
So I really like,
Strike.
that's what I was
Well, I
going
was
to
trying
say.
to
Even
just
though
give
we
it
haven't played it in a long time, I still like it. And I also kind of like, I also kind of like, where it was like the dice, like,
Rory Story Cubes.
yeah, I like that.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Wait, hold on. Cameron, he remembered what his favorite game is.
Oh.
Samurai 7.
Oh, that's awesome.
What's Samurai 7?
That's my. Oh, what is Samurai 7? It's
I'm
really
sorry.
called the
Yeah,
it's been
I
renamed to the
forgot.
Samurai.
It's called the Samurai.
Thanks, Natalie.
Scarlett, what is your favorite board game?
This game.
Storytailors.
Storytailers, really? Wow.
Actually, I like
Alright.
the Gamecasters.
What'd she say?
Actually, I like the Gamecasters.
Oh, that's your favorite game?
I like the Gamecasters.
All right, Cameron,
That's
this
okay.
this one might be a little easier for you. What is your favorite video game?
I know.
It's so hard to choose them.
Wow, I thought you'd say Roblox in like a second.
Roblox.
That's crazy.
What about you,
Do
Lexi?
you mean like on the Switch or
Yeah, like on the
your
Switch.
iPad?
Whatever.
No,
Whatever.
not on your iPad, on
Oh.
the Switch.
Oh.
Okay, then Metopia.
Oh, Metopia. All right, Cam, you want to revise yours? Why you don't want it to be?
question is, what's your favorite iPad?
Oh,
I have one.
Metopia.
really? Metopia, Cam?
Pokemon Shield.
And Pokemon Shield. Oh, cool.
Go ahead.
And Mario.
Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
Okay.
What about you, Scarlett? What's your favorite game on the Switch?
I like Mario Kart.
I like you.
Cool. All right, Cameron, what's your
like-
favorite iPad game? I think I know.
Roblox.
What about you, Lexi? What's your favorite game to play on your iPad?
It's either Roblox or it's like a cat game kind of where you try to escape. I always play.
Oh,
it.
that escape one?
Yeah, it's really fun, and it would either be Roblox or that.
Do you think those are good for kids?
Yes, like a lot. It's so easy. But on Roblox, I really like Roblox.
Yeah, a lot of kids like Roblox. What about you, Scarlett? What game do you like playing on your iPad?
I like the hairstyle game.
The animal hairstyle game?
Aw.
I knew you were going to say
like you.
that.
Everyone just got it.
All right, Cameron, when you play board games, what color do you like to be?
Can it be 2?
Yeah.
Green and blue.
Green or blue? Okay. Yeah, that's
What
true.
color would you pick, Lexi, if you were playing a board game and you had to pick a color?
Oh, purple or blue? I would pick yellow
That a girl.
or pink.
Yellow or yellow?
Nice.
Just Uncle Jeff likes yellow.
Do you guys have any questions for the kiddos?
I don't think so. I mean, I know everything about them about games.
Can say no.
Oh, no, I'm just
No.
kidding. I'm just kidding. I actually do have a couple questions for you guys. Would you want to come on the Gamecasters again?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Cameron does not want.
1,000 more times. 1,000 more.
Are you gonna tell all your friends to listen to us and rate us 5 stars?
Yes.
Yes.
You mean you?
With Julie and a million stars. I love you.
Actually, why'd you say 5-star? That's the worst one ever. It's 10 million trillion. It's 10
Usually they
million
go up to
trillion.
5 stars. But yes, if you could please, if there's anywhere that you rate us that lets you rate us 10 million trillion, please rate us 10 million trillion stars.
Do you have any questions, Jeff?
I'd like to know why Lexi is wearing my slipper that I have on.
Oh, Lexi?
I think we all want to know that.
Yeah, can you share why that's happening?
Wait, is that Lexi or Uncle Jeff? I can't tell.
Outside, Scarlett was like, Uncle Jeff has slippers in his bag.
Hey, man, we're
Why
in
are
the
you going
basement.
through Uncle Jeff's bag?
What else is in there?
Did he bring me a present?
What's in Uncle Jeff's bag?
Yeah. All right.
That's the game this episode is what's in my
What's
bag?
in my bag?
All right, I have
know
one
slippers is
final
one.
thing.
Okay.
I'm going to go through each of you. Do you have anything you want to say to all the people listening out there? You
Gotta
can
go
say
through that.
anything you want.
There are dozens of us.
Don't be crazy. Be normal.
I want Dada to do the Gamecasters of lots more games, so that everyone else can buy those games and play.
I'm going to make people buy as many games as possible, whether it's with
Yeah.
a gun or with my
You
words.
made like 8 people buy Marvel United.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You did.
Lexi, would you like to say anything to the people?
Listen
We're not
to
good
the
to our
Gamecasters.
Yeah, once we're
Sorry,
good.
patrons.
Yeah, we'll get you some video at some point. Keep paying us, please. Scarlett, do you have anything you want to say? Go ahead. Into the mic, sweetie.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, thanks,
so funny.
guys.
Thanks for
You did
being
so
with us,
good.
kiddos. That was really, really fun. Yay.
There's one more thing.
Okay, one more thing
one
from
more
Lexi.
thing.
What do you got? All
I
right.
don't want the Gamecasters.
Listen to the Gamecasters. Yay.
I have 2 more things to say.
Okay, Sam.
I love the whole world.
That's,
The whole world loves you.
that is so nice.
Yes.
Okay. And goodbye. I'd like to talk to you all a moment about the Gateway Board Gaming Network, which you can find at www.thegatewaynetwork.com, and the Gateway Network is also on Instagram. The sole purpose of the network is to help new or up-and-coming content creators grow by shouting each other out. If you go to the Gateway Network website, you will find other amazing content creators who are trying to grow as well. They are all amazing people who produce fantastic content. It's very exciting, due also in large part to our merch store. Yes, we've got a merch store, which you can find at redbubble.com/people/Gateway Network. There you can find so many amazing items from a large portion of our members. There's even a new injection area. Yes, as of the time of this recording, you can get your Gamecasters COVID vaccine. So now there's Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, and Gamecasters. This one comes in 52 weekly shots. Each shot consists of 12 mini shots that must be issued directly into the perineum.
Oh, okay.
We can't guarantee that you still won't get COVID, but the memory will last a lifetime.
It's 8% effective.
Against pain. So today I'd like to specifically highlight Ben, M, and Ken from the Date Night Dice podcast. The 3 of these people work so well together, I find myself laughing throughout the entire thing. The dry delivery of Ben and Ken against Emily's commentary just really always cracks me up.
really funny.
It's very, very funny. And when they laugh, I laugh even harder. People have told us that, like, your laugh is infectious.
Yeah.
Same with them.
Yeah.
Like, when one of them makes the other one laugh, I don't even
Yeah.
care what they're laughing about. I laugh.
It's
Yeah,
kind of like
that's-
when you watch a TV show and you're by yourself and you don't really laugh out loud, but if you're with somebody, you would laugh out loud.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
All 3 of them are really funny. And if that wasn't enough, Ben and M also have a Instagram account, if you want to be grammatically correct, that is also called Date Night Dice. Ken is not a part of that. But that account, man. Okay. We first met them from having them on the show. We
interviewed
We
them.
loved
Yeah.
their channel because the reason is because it's so different than every other Instagram account. I said channel. I meant account. They do have a YouTube channel, however, as well.
Yeah.
But they do something that no one else does. Everyone posts stories, everyone posts pictures, but what they do is they basically chronicle their game nights on their stories. And it is just infectious to watch.
Yeah.
You
And you
get
just like,
COVID.
because a lot of times I look at a story, like when you click on the story and it shows all those little dash marks
Yeah.
up there and there's like 50. Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah,
I
like,
wanna watch.
no. With them,
But
you're
with
like,
them, I have to
yeah,
watch
here
every
we
one
go.
of them.
And they're all short usually. It's like a quick little thing.
yeah, but it really, really, really always it really always is fun.
It makes
If
me
they
happy.
Do it shorter, they do it.
And sometimes I'll be watching it, and Devin will kind of leave it over and be like, "Oh, what are
they doing today?
Yeah.
What's going on today?
So that account made me want to start an account. It also made me want to do stuff with the story, and then realize that I'm just not them.
I know
Yeah.
we've like tried to like.
It was fun the
copy
one
them
time we
or
did it,
so-
but I can't put it up. Theirs is natural. You know,
Yes.
usually the first one that does it is the one that should do it because
Yeah.
it was natural to them. They didn't look at someone else to make their content.
True, and
you know?
also Emily's, she's into like the videos, photography type thing.
Emily's
And so,
into the videos.
Way to go! Ooh.
So like
Got videos, Emily.
that's like a huge interest for her. So like it's easy for her to do that. Where
So
us,
stealthy.
I felt forced.
Yeah.
Like that looks cool. I want to do that, but it's not just like natural.
Right,
for me.
exactly. It comes very naturally to
Yeah.
them. It's just a lot of fun. Their personalities are great.
Yeah.
They're awesome people.
Yeah.
They're also working on something very cool that I can't really talk too much about. I'm not under the same embargo that Jeff is, but it's just not ready for them to come out with yet. But I did tell them I wanted to tease this. Basically, their entire brand, which is date night, right? So they're starting to get into sharing their experiences with other people in a really cool way. More information will be coming soon from the Date Night Dice account. So be sure to follow them on Instagram, their YouTube channel, listen to their podcast, and you can stay up to date on all things date night. So whatever kind of content you're looking for, the Gateway will have it. If you're a newer board game content creator and you're looking for a way to grow your content, please consider heading over to the gatewaynetwork.com to learn more. If you ever wanted to support the show but weren't quite sure how to do it, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will maybe get you access to behind-the-scene content.
It will.
Maybe get you exclusive content. Maybe get you content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, maybe, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which sometimes you listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for your support. I promise we will start upping our game, and if you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that 5th circumcision Jeff has had his eye on,
Jeez, Jeff.
please head on over to patreon.com/the Gamecasters to help out.
Damn, I thought the fourth
Why does he
one.
need so
The
many?
fourth one was so
They
good.
just don't
that-
stick. You'd think he'd go to a different doctor, but he really likes his guy.
No, Dr.
like, they don't
Spaceman is
get all the-
wonderful.
They don't like get all the foreskin.
Okay, it's not a real thing. It's not like it's actually happening to me. Man, my condition.
You dropped 3 foreskins on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
Here we are at our newest segment you didn't ask for, the Gamecasters Essentials.
Oh, yeah.
The idea behind this segment is these are games that all 3 of us unanimously agree are likely good for most everyone. That's not to say everyone will love them, but these are games that if you don't have a collection, maybe these will be pretty safe bets to start with. Last episode, we kind of kicked things off with our first impromptu selection. You guys remember what that was?
Bonanza.
Yes.
Bonanza. The episode kicked off this Gamecasters Essentials segment that we'll just kind of pepper in throughout the upcoming episodes.
Yeah.
This episode, we all selected the horribly ugly game we mention almost every episode somehow.
Because we're
The
obsessed.
Castles of Mad King Burgundy. The Castles of Burgundy is selection number 2. Why does this make our essentials list? It's strategic, but not so much that you'll injure yourself. It's heavy enough to fully invest you, but light enough that anyone can play it. It's variable enough, even without expanding, to stand up to multiple plays without getting samey. And then there are so many expansion boards to discover and play with to mix it up even further. Its playtime is in the sweet spot where you can set up play and it not take forever. The rules are very simple to both understand and remember. It plays amazingly well with 2, but goes up to 4, so it's good for couples as well as a game night with a couple friends. It's very smooth and really just feels like butter, whatever that means. What else? Do you guys want to add anything else about why Castles of Burgundy is a Gamecasters essential selection? What do you think, the giggliest to ganglio?
Natalie.
Well, I wasn't totally prepared.
That's good. You can talk about your favorite game. It's like,
I mean,
why do you love your dogs?
yeah.
You know,
It's
that's
like
basically what this is.
It's yeah,
Your dogs.
like it's smooth as butter. It just feels like such a smooth game. It's
Lots of smoothness.
it's I don't even know what to say except
smooth
it's
again.
my opinion that like I would want to play this game anytime.
Well, have
And
you
to me, it's
played
like
it with
almost
anybody
perfect.
that didn't like it? It's one of those kind of
No,
things. I feel like most people seem to
but-
love this game.
And it's our essentials. It's if you don't like it, I don't care. This is our essentials. Okay?
Yeah.
It's the Gamecasters essentials.
It is essential to us. I mean, okay, well, here's a good point in his favor, okay? Before, Jeff, I don't know if you have anything you want to say. This game came out in 2011, right? It is still number 15 of all time.
Wow.
great.
Okay. Yeah.
It has, I think, cracked the top 10. It's hovered around 10 for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because there's a handful of the even brand new games that are above it. So yeah, it might have even been a single digit at some point, 9.
Yeah.
Ish.
That might have been its height, right?
It's just so smooth, and it's like
Yes, she said smooth again.
Yep, there it is. Smooth 3 times.
Gosh, I just thought of
It's
something.
like Beetlejuice.
Forget it.
That smooth Dr. Pepper guy's going to show up.
Yeah. A little sweet.
Yeah, a little sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. It's smooth. It just works. It goes quickly with 2. You can play it in an hour. There are a
once you
couple
know
expansions that are phenomenal that again are just a plug and play that you might never like. I'm never going to play without the trade routes again.
Oh, right.
It's
That
just
the
like-
new one adds that.
And it's just so butt ugly that that they,
Even the new version
that they
is
did a
butt
new
ugly.
version that's also
They didn't
ugly.
make it that
it
much
is
better.
very
like,
ugly.
oh, we made it slightly less ugly, but still
But
ugly.
still pretty
Yeah.
ugly. Yeah.
You're right. It just like hits that sweet spot of like everything. It's smooth.
Smoothness.
It's got like the perfect weight in my opinion.
Agreed.
And the length is perfect.
What a
like,
girth.
It's just
Oh, boy.
everything about it is just like hits the right
The G spot.
G spot.
Welcome to the Kids Gamecaster episode 66 for kids only.
Kids go to
Kids, get out of here. This is definitely an essential. This would be a game
Yeah,
that
it is.
You know, I've told people to play, to buy.
Me too.
Yes.
Rarely do I hear someone that really hates the game. I've talked to lots of people. There are some people that don't like it. I get it. Some people
He understands
played it
you.
maybe. I get it. Some people have played it maybe a little too late in their gaming journey.
Yeah.
But I think we played it at a time where we just got into games. We played a game, and this game was new, and it then
Yeah.
was like, man,
It's good
Let
for
me
like
uncover
your
more
early
about this game.
strategic game.
yeah,
Yeah.
And it's you know, being this dice worker placement, which I love that mechanic even today. But it's something where rolling a 6 doesn't really matter. You might want to roll a
Yeah.
1. You know, so that's it's an essential.
This game felt classic when I remember when I first played it. I was like, this does not feel new. This feels like it's been out for a decade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that doesn't happen too often. And I agree with you guys completely. This is by far, if you don't have this game in your collection, you never played it, but you always kind of wanted to, get this game.
Yeah, get the ugly one,
Get the ugly one.
Yeah.
which is either of them.
It
And you
doesn't
don't
even
need
matter
expansions
because
right
it's
now.
that
No, don't.
good.
You could play that main game 10, 15 times without needing or wanting to even get another. And when you get more, they're not expensive. You can go to the Board Game Geek store and get some expansion. They're just boards. A lot of the expansions
Yeah.
are just boards. And so basically it's just different layouts, which you would be surprised how much that changes the game
Yeah.
up.
It can be so much harder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
way harder,
yeah.
or it just feels different. You know, and it's just so much fun. Even the base game comes with different boards. Yeah, there's a bunch of different boards the base game comes with. So you'll be busy for a while. It's just a lot of fun. If you're really looking for something that is like Lost Ruins of Arnak beautiful, you're not going to find it here.
Nope.
But I will be
Aaliyah.
willing to bet. I'd wager to guess that won't matter. You might think it does.
It doesn't.
You might have stayed away from Castle of Burgundy because it's ugly and disgusting. I would wager to guess if you played it, you would change your tune.
Yeah,
And
you
that's
quickly
not
forget.
always the case.
Yeah, a lot of times that's not the case. This game, the mechanisms stand head and shoulders above any kind of presentation or what it looks like. Also, some people like the way it looks. They're
I
crazy.
don't mind it. Like it's
It
definitely
doesn't. Yeah,
ugly.
it doesn't bother me. I don't sit there and go.
I'm not like, ugh, yeah.
Yeah. But I think if you hated the game, you might.
Yep. If you didn't like,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again,
But, yeah, this
there's
is-
not many of them.
This is an essential. This would be a game that if my collection were burned to the ground, oh please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I would replace immediately.
Yeah,
Of course.
100%.
Of course. If you don't like Euro games, stay away. This isn't for you.
Yep.
If you like Euro games, this is maybe the best one.
And
Honestly.
if you want, I've
Yeah.
taught this game over. I FaceTime taught this game to Sam.
Oh,
Miss
that's
French
really?
Toast, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because her and Meredith
Oh,
wanted
her
to
and
play. Her and
Meredith,
her
that's
roommate
right.
wanted to play.
That's right.
And we FaceTimed and I taught it over. So if you don't even want to learn it, just buy it and I'll teach it to you.
Actually, that's
Wow.
a great point. Jeff's available for teaching. You know why? He's a teacher.
Because I'm a teacher.
He's a teacher.
Except summer vacations in a couple weeks, so don't call me.
Nope, you're done.
No, I'm just kidding.
You have
Wait till
summers
next
I'll
year.
teach
off.
you
Wait till
board
next
games
year.
any day of the week.
Would you teach them Bonanza?
Yeah, I'll teach you Bonanza.
All
I'm
the
actually been
essentials.
talking to Miss French Toast, Sam, about teaching her 5 tribes.
Cool.
Or at least going over 5 tribes, because she's been invited to a game
That
night
one I think
now,
is a Mad
so
Board Gamer essential.
That would be a
Yeah.
Mad Board Gamer essential. It would
Natalie, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when we first met, was Castle of Burgundy not one of the games I was like, you need to get that game.
It might have been.
I think it was.
I think I
in those,
owned
I think it was
it.
in like those first 5 that I
Yeah.
just had you buy. Just like,
I
so
know I
didn't
played
see
it very
buy
early
that.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's like one of, if not your favorite games of all time.
Yes.
It's a great one.
So that is
so good.
Gamecasters Essential number 2, The Castles of Burgundy. It's time for our favorite cooperative game.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Let me try that again.
Okay.
Marriage.
No, leave it.
1,
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like.
2. It's now time for our favorite cooperative game that we play whenever I don't have enough time to prepare something else. Welcome to the Jeff Describes Games for Natalie to Guess game.
Yes, I wanted to be the guest.
You will have 3
could've
minutes,
switched,
Jeffrey, to get Natalie to guess 30 games. Now, if you know how this game works there at home, I'm going to describe it to you really quickly. It's basically, what's that game? Is it catchphrase?
Oh yeah.
Jeff is going to be able to say whatever he wants to, other than any word that's in the game itself. That's the only thing he can't do.
Or I won't point to it in the room. Well, I might.
Right.
I might.
Right. Yeah. He can't pantomime or gesture to the game or say the name of the game, right? Anything else he can say.
We
Like,
should just play
literally
charades and it'd be the worst segment.
Nobody would see.
Act out a
So
game.
Jeff, I'm going to try to. I don't have a
Okay.
ton of wiggle room here because of the cord. Oh, you know what I can do? Actually, let's do this. Natalie, pull up a stopwatch on your phone, and I'm just going to give Jeff my phone, and then Jeff, you can do it that whizzle.
I can do it that whizzle.
Frizzle. All right, so there's 30 games.
So maybe we can get through.
And yeah, I don't know honestly that we've ever gotten through every one.
I don't think so. I think we've been very close.
Very,
I don't
very
think so
close.
either.
Yeah, I think we were in like the 25-ish and a little bit above. but
Yeah.
So this is going to be.
We always
this is
do
it.
well,
this is
but
the time.
not quite all.
I know.
This is the.
Give us 20 minutes.
How about 3.5 minutes?
Oh, man. Well, let's just try it. All right.
That's it right up top. You got it. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
On your marks, get set. 3 minutes.
Oh, you started?
Yep.
Okay, this is the game you just played with Cameron and Lexi.
Storytailors.
Yes. This is a game that's German and has a really stupid name, and Ryan hates the name of it. You play cards to a row.
Really stupid.
Once you get the highest thing, you have to take the row.
Six Nimit.
Okay, 2-player game that you love. It's on like your favorite list. I don't know much about it. It's like
Codenames
Egyptian
Duet?
themed.
Oh, Akrotiri?
Yep. This is a game where you make a spaceship as fast as you possibly can. You need blasters and all this stuff. We played it in the church.
In the church?
Yep.
Yes, in a freaking church.
played it in a church.
We didn't play many games in churches before.
You're gonna have to go faster than this to get
I've
3
been in a
minutes.
church.
Gosh. Ryan's favorite game, he played with his dad forever, and his dad is a
Chess?
champion of this. Yep. This is a game where you are a little sneaky dwarf,
Yeah, dwarf, I
elf,
think
something, and trying to collect gold.
Ink and Gold? No.
Yep. Nope.
No. Dwarf collecting gold. I don't know.
You're like
Ooh.
secret things. You're like I'm on the blue team.
Saboteur?
Yes.
Got it.
This is the game you just said a second ago.
Ink and Gold.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
This is a game you and Ryan both love. You said you. Oh man.
Oh,
well,
yeah,
let's
you
keep
said
going.
it. All right.
Another Stefan Feld game with a rondelle.
Trajan.
Trajan.
1 minute.
This is a game where if you don't want something, you just say I'll pass, and you put a chip on it.
Oh, no thanks?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'll pass that one. This is a Vital Lacerda game about art.
The Gallerist.
Okay. This is one where there's 3 rounds. You act something out. You say one word. It's a big party game with a whole bunch of people. Blue
Monikers.
box. Yeah. This is a game. Is Indiana Jones.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Okay.
Yep.
2 shy people not talking about sex. The game with the comic book that you're just playing.
Marvel United? Wait,
The game with the comic book.
Comic book. Oh, The Initiative.
There you go.
This is a game we're drawing with white markers on the board.
On the board. Oh, Starlink?
Yep. This is a game that me and you really like. Ryan doesn't like. It's about placing polyomino tiles to encompass little.
Scarabia.
Yeah. This one is a game we all love. It's like a dark themed circus game.
Meeple Circus?
Nope.
No,
Dark.
Meeple- Dark themed.
2 minutes.
Dice
Oh,
plays really colorful
Magnificent.
dice. Yep. This is a game about the lock blank monster.
Oh, nice. Very good.
Ness.
But
Nice.
the game we played, like where Ryan took forever and you yelled at him and.
Oh, what? I
Yep.
don't know.
I did it. That was it.
Okay.
I did it.
I don't
Another
know.
one about managing not a motel but something else.
A hotel.
Yep. So finish. It's not called the hotel.
Oh, Grand Austrian
Oh,
Hotel.
you gotta go
Yep.
faster than this now. Like, you gotta get the
Yep.
record.
This
30
is
seconds.
one of the Turtsy games in that blank series.
T series. Teotihuacan.
It's the one that I kind of liked and you guys thought was okay.
Hey!
Yep. This game is where you're.
15
It's
seconds.
a tile placement game. We played together here. It has a gigantic like monster on the front of it. You're playing tiles like video game art themed.
Oh.
Yep.
Rampage?
No, you were saying it. You were starting to say it.
Space?
3 minutes, that's it.
Space. Oh shit! Space was the next one. The game Space. Let's go through some of these in order. Well, we were supposed
First
to do
of
the
all,
best.
it's 11 p.m. at night. I'm tired.
Wait, 11 p.m. at night? It's not 11
No
p.m. in the
way.
morning?
Let's go back. So what did I say? You missed Galaxy Trucker.
Yeah.
Which one?
The
The
church.
one we played in the freaking church.
And I said you're building a ship. You need
Jose,
blasters
how did you
and all
not
that
get
kind of stuff. That one you should have got. I said
Yeah,
love
I
because,
should've.
but in a different
Yeah,
way. So
love
I said
letter you
love,
would
so I
have.
messed that up. Tainted Grail I just skipped because I was just going to talk about Taint.
Perineum.
And this is the kids episode. Loch Ness.
Loch Ness.
Blockness. I forgot the name of that.
And then Overboss
You
was
were
the
like,
other one.
oh, and I'm like, keep going.
Yeah, oh,
Space.
Space.
I'm like, you just about said it.
Yeah,
Space.
Overboss was the last one.
Overboss.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you missed Bonfire. Well, after that, you would have.
Or
missed.
do you want to keep those ones for the next time? Or I guess you just put them in there.
I honestly,
yeah,
I
so
just
the
kinda
ones that
like-
were on here, Bonfire, which I would have said Amerigo, Pictures, Nova Luna, Wavelength, Orleans,
Oh my
Sidereal
God.
Confluence, and Euphoria.
So
We did
how
not do
many did
great.
I get?
Probably 20.
I can tell you. You got 1, 2, 3, 4,
19,
5, 6,
20.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh no. That's so bad.
That's all right. We haven't done it in a while.
Remember we did 20
I
something?
could tell at the beginning it was not going well. He was like, game we just played today. And you were like,
My brain is
Yeah,
like
like,
slow
oh,
right now.
Storytailers. Just like, it's in the whatever series, you were like,
took a long
T
time.
series.
T, next. What's next?
oh,
And
yeah.
you were like, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. You got like stuck. You were stuck.
You're
You couldn't, the remix was happening. You just got caught.
Yeah, remix.
That's a hard one to say.
That was
Yeah, it
really
was
funny.
it's the hardest
That
one
was
to
really
say, yeah.
funny. Okay, so since we had this is a family-friendly
This
episode.
is a friendly episode.
We had the kids episode. We decided we would do the top 5 games to play with your kids. Let's go. Natalie, Jeff, me for this one. And Natalie, start off whenever you're ready with number 5.
Okay, I'm going to preface real quick that these are not the top 5 kids games. They're the top 5 games that I enjoy playing with kids.
Yeah, that's bit what the list said. Mhm.
But that's different though.
Top 5 games to play with kids?
games.
Yeah.
Yes. Number 5.
Kids games.
I'm picking this one. I'm not saying this is the best game, but I really enjoyed.
What's number 5?
Is it space? Is it space?
It would be number 1 if it was the best game now.
No, it's space. I think it's
I
space.
really enjoy playing this with the kids.
I'm not saying it's the
And
best.
it's called Uno.
You picked 1 for number 5.
Oh, I'm talking about
I
Uno.
picked number 1.
I was in my local game store,
Ooh, not
and
an-
they have
not a
a
friendly one.
Yeah, this is not friendly.
Just a regular one.
They have a Braille version of Uno.
Oh, really?
How freaking awesome
What?
is that? I
Oh,
thought
how
that was
difficult
so
would that be?
cool. Well, you can see it.
I just mean like you're playing. It's a fast game. Like you gotta like.
We don't have to
fast?
be too fast.
Yeah, but how do you know?
Oh, if someone has an Uno? Like Uno.
Well, you
'cause-
I guess you can still say it.
Yeah.
I mean, like
no, but I mean like if you have an Uno and you don't say it and I say it first, then you have to draw cards. That's part of the
Oh,
game.
well, maybe that's not part of it.
Yeah,
interesting.
maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
man.
thought that was
That
kind
is
of cool.
That is cool.
Bringing games to everybody.
But yeah, Uno. We've been playing it a lot. The kids got like a Pixar version
Yeah,
of
Pixar
Uno.
version.
Kids
and
freaking
like,
love Uno.
They do, man.
Freaking love it.
They
Well,
gobble
one of
that
the
stuff up like
reasons
Chris.
Play it
that I
wrong.
like them playing with them is because it's something that they can like easily play.
Right. It's so simple.
Yeah.
For some reason, kids cannot hold a hand of cards in their hand. They just cannot figure out the concept of how to fan them out. It is really funny. But besides that, like it's something that's
like a card
easy to
holder for 'em.
play. You know, you're not like telling them necessarily what to do. You know, you're kind of like, oh, you have
Colors
to,
and numbers.
Yeah, you have to play this color or this number, and then they can pick themselves. So it's kind of like they can be more independent while playing it. But it's just to
And
me
it's
like
not
a classic.
terrible for adults to play.
Yeah, and that. So to me, it's like a classic kids game, and that's why I picked it.
Awesome. I like it. All right, Jeff. What about you, man? Number 5.
Okay, I took this in a different direction.
5.
So because Jack is so young that I don't really play like games with him other than
Peekaboo?
roll the dice.
Eat the thing and throw it up?
Yeah, that one. He's good at that one. He wins most of the time. I decided to kind of steer this towards like teenagers, which would be my board game club. So this would be a shout out or helpful maybe to people with teenage kids. Older kids. Or, you're looking to if you're a teenager, you want to suggest some games to your teenager to play with their friends. You want this collection because, So
agreed.
My number 5 is a game called Detective Club.
Yeah,
Detective Club is
good
super fun, and I think it's fun with adults also, but plays really well with teenagers. It gets them like out of their shell a little bit. They're very creative. This is one in the realm of like Dixit. Everyone gets a word. They pick a card that's similar to that word. And then what's really great about this game is they have to explain. Everyone goes around the table and explains for a few seconds why their card matches the word. That's
got to be where the fun is for them.
And it is so fun. It's so cool to hear their like absurd stories. And because, when you play with a group of friends, they relate to each other and they say like stories about like inside jokes between things, or there's always that person that's like, this is the best card I had. This was I had nothing that was fire and whatever. Yeah. So it's just really fun to play with them. So I even just enjoy like watching them play and laughing at all the stuff that they say. But playing with them is also really fun. So that would be a good one if you have a group of teenagers, or is awesome at a family night too.
Great,
that is a good one.
That's super cool. Number 5 for me is a game that I took a chance at Gen Con, and because I knew this game was going to blow up and be the most expensive game in the world. Turns out you can buy it at Sam's Club for $18.
Okay.
And it's called Beasts of Balance. Yeah, this is what a cool game this is for, I would probably say of all ages, but it's really especially fun with littler kids because it's a stacking game. Everyone knows how to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And you're using these insanely cool plastic's not even the right word. I mean, they're plastic, but they're not
like,
just like...
they're not
so
normal plastic.
Yeah, they're not normal plastic.
They're like the nicest plastic ever.
Just weird textured plastic, and they're just
like
basically toys.
Yeah.
They're basically toys. I have them displayed on my game shelf
they're
right
really
here.
Cool looking.
And they're amazing to look at and to handle and to... Oh, bug. And to stack. And that's what you do in this game. And the cooler thing, maybe, is the game is run by an app. And all kids know iPads and apps. That's like the world right now. So if you can integrate, this app game with a fully, physical copy that you can play with them, oh man, it's cool. It's so cool. We've gotten so much mileage out of that copy of our game. Luckily, Cameron played that thing to death.
Yeah, he did.
Well, it's still alive. He played it a lot. So that's my number 5, Beasts of Balance. Natalie, what's number 4?
It's a good one.
My number 4 is Animal Upon Animal.
Oh, good one. Oh, I'm glad you said that because I forgot about it.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. Yeah, that's just like a really fun one with all the animals and you're trying to like connect them to each other and without it like...
it's more stacking. You're stacking them up without the thing falling.
There is one thing that you can add to it. But
right, to the end or whatever. Yeah, but it's like a stacking animal game. The animal figures are really cute. And again, it's just like a game that I don't feel like you have to help the kids too much. It's pretty straightforward, but also still fun for adults.
Why is it so fun?
I don't know.
I would play that game just you and me.
Yeah.
Like it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
That might be that could be a lot of kids' first games.
Yeah.
If you're looking like what can I play with a 4 or 5-year-old first?
That is
it might be that one. I guess you just go right to Haba and you just pick a Haba thing.
Any Haba thing will work.
That's one of the best ones.
Except you don't want to start with Miyabi.
Yeah, don't start with Miyabi or they have another big one, don't they?
Yeah, they have the one by Rudiger Dorn. Yeah. I think is Haba.
It's something.
Yeah, whatever. Who knows? Jeff, what about number 4, man?
My number 4, I'll stick in the Haba realm. I'm going to go Rhino Hero / Rhino Hero Super Battle.
Very good.
That one would probably...
more stacking.
Would be stacking older kids / like... It could be any age, really.
Yeah.
But the Super Battle adds some more kind of like conflict.
For sure.
But man, it just looks amazing. It's so fun. Kids just get into it. They, sometimes they don't. It's funny because when I play this game, when I play Rhino Hero with like you guys, I want to make the biggest tower. And these kids want to like screw each other over. Yeah. Like just barely putting it there and being like, well, you're knocking over next.
You can't do
I just think that's really fun. Again, a great family game. I think it works itself all the way into like, teenagers would just have fun.
Also, amazing table presence.
Amazing table presence.
And saying that something is just cards to go against table presence is a ridiculous thing. I'm not still bitter about that. Super Board Sunday.
That's right. The
But
bad board game cover thing.
Yeah.
yeah, I think table presence is such a good way to draw in children.
Yeah. And this is a game where I've had
age.
students come to board game afternoon and they come like 10 minutes late and someone's already playing the bigger games and whatever, and they've never shown up, and I'm like, let me play a game with you for 10 minutes. And then you can leave, or you got to go to practice or something.
Yeah.
And we play Rhino Hero, and they were like, "This is so cool."
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
And then we
is
play it
this?
again right away,
Right.
And that's a way that I kind of like ease them into something that they've never seen, and like, you can play games like this. It's not all this heavy, crazy kind
Right,
of
really
game. So
thinky
Absolutely.
games. I feel like games like Rhino Hero, kids are drawn to them because of the like tenseness of like something potentially being destroyed and
Yes.
falling over, and then they just
Yes,
erupt.
you're right.
Like,
That's a very good point. Kids love to knock shit over and destroy stuff, and now it's a game, and I get to do it for
Yep.
Right.
awesome. Great choices also so far. I really love all these. Now, my number 4 is another one I think could probably work with kids of any age. And again, great table presence. This one, you build the board with the box. It's called Ice Cool, which doubles as ice school because you're playing in a school. This game has Weeble Wobbles.
penguin.
Remember Weeble Wobbles? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yep.
They're they have like some thing in the base that just
It's like a rounded
it
bottom.
will never tip over.
Yeah.
Right. And so the cool thing about this game
I'll make you
is you flick this thing. It's a flicking game. A lot of games are good with kids. Seem like they have a dexterity component.
Yes.
Whether it's
Yeah.
stacking or flicking or pull it. Okay, I'm not gonna
Because
go
when
there again.
little kids are little, they
Well,
don't
family
have
friendly
the
episode.
schooling or the brains to like do something
Oh,
heavier.
jeez, I don't have the brains.
Way to go, idiots.
Saying these kids aren't smart.
So
Why
it's
don't you
more
flick this
fun
thing, you
doing
dumbass?
something.
You can't do anything else. Flick this over there, you dumb. You're stupid.
You know what I mean?
I know. It's great though. God, what are you, a kid? What are you, a kid? You can't even do you can't do anything. There's nothing you can even do, so you may as well just flick this penguin around.
Did you see Nestor's memes? Where it's
Yes,
like
yeah.
that guy with his hand on the hips, and he's like, "Do you even read books?"
You don't even read books. You can't even read a book. You may as well flick the penguin.
I mean, that's a good point. They can't read.
Yeah, can't read the rules.
Stupid brain, dumb brain kids. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Ice Cool is such a fantastic game about flicking little penguins around this ice rink to try to gather the most fish and avoid the hall monitor. Very awesome game for kids. Honestly, of all ages, adults love it too.
Yeah.
Natalie, what's your number 3?
It's a family-friendly episode.
My number
my
3
gosh.
is the game that Jeff lent to us called Pika Mouse. That's what it's called, right?
I remember
I thought
Pika
that
Mouse.
game was really cool, and again, it used the box as the game.
Yeah, the box is the game.
And
Cool concept. Table presence.
yeah, you basically like have all
Stupid
these
kids.
little tokens with like pictures on them, and you put them inside this box, shake it around, and then you turn this light on, and you
That's
can
cool.
only peek through the windows into 4 different rooms, and you have to try to memorize what tokens
You saw.
you see, and then you have to answer some questions because you only have like maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds on
Yeah,
the
it's not
light or
long.
something, and then
I
you
think
have to
it is 30
answer the
seconds.
questions. And I thought that was really fun to play with the kids too. It was fun memorizing them, seeing them memorize them, which is kind of funny because they're not like
But when they got one, they like lit up like that light bulb.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the apple was in this room.
it's in the
It's like,
purple
oh,
room,
okay,
I think.
Yeah.
Or it's even
The
cool.
ring was there.
It's even cool because like we kind of played on different corners of the box, so I'm not looking in every window. So you have to rely on some like the kids to look in some other windows, or maybe the angle I'm seeing, I can't see like a token, and it was just a cool little game.
Yeah.
That would be on my list if I was talking about like kid
Like games
Yeah.
with kids, with children.
and that's, I'm not going to play it with you guys.
Right.
Because
exactly.
we like it's not hard enough that it's going to play with adults.
not
but
gonna be fun for
It is, and it teaches like observation skills, communication, because you're
Memorization.
talking, memorization. Answering a question like what is next to it? Is it in this room? And then you have to look at the rooms and the it's a great game. I'm hoping that it gets a bigger
yeah, like
print run or public or gets.
It
gets
also
the,
teaches cheating. Like just let me look one more time, bro. Click.
Yeah, let me just click the light on.
Yeah, so-
and the production's great. That's a great choice. My number 3.
Awesome.
Is a game. I think you'd have to go a little older. Again, my board game club loves it. It's a game called Slide Quest.
Yeah, good game. Good game.
Slide Quest is so cool. Again, played in the box.
yeah.
You're
Slide Quest?
Yeah, that
you're
was
just
cool.
you man one side of the box and you're tipping the board around.
Okay, talk
to
about a
move this
communication
person around.
exercise.
Yeah, you're communicating,
Yeah.
and that's I watch my students play this game and go, all right, we need to move this way. Don't move, and then they slowly work together and figure
Teamwork,
this
yeah,
out.
team building.
And there's a little bit of dexterity in there, and then it's like it evolves. The game gets harder and harder, and they just love it. And it's like another game that I can think that would play well again with a family, because I'm not taking control of the entire game. I can't like run the game. You can't quarterback this thing. I can control one side and work with communication.
You can only do it when your side comes up. Yeah.
I feel like we're nailing these lists.
I know. This is crazy good so far. Number 3 for me is a game called Robots. Robots came out of left field to me, and so Jeff came over with a litany of games at one point. It was Robots, it was Pika Mouse, it was Storytailors, maybe
Sock
those three.
Monsters.
Sock Monsters, right. And we played all of them now, with Storytailors finally being played. And Robots was the one that I think surprised us the most for how much we enjoyed it. It's one of those, we talk about this occasionally. It's a game after we played it, I was like, how on earth did I not do this?
Yeah.
Because there is nothing to this game. You flip a card over, and it's got a bunch of symbols on it with little dots matching them. And all you do is you say, beep. And then when you're done, you go, boop. That's it.
Yep.
It's the duration of time between the beep and the boop
Yep, the beep boops.
that tells the other players what symbol on the card you're looking for. So there's 5 symbols, and I go beep, boop. That might be the third.
maybe
Maybe that's symbol number 3.
How fast. Oh, there's also a card that says slow, medium, or fast.
Right, that's right. You get told how. Right, it's like beep boop, but it's
that's
fast.
the fast robot.
Oh man,
So
that
it
could
could've
be
been the first
that
and
could have been the
second
first,
one.
second one. That could have been the fourth one even. Yeah. So that's all there is to it. It's nothing. It is so much fun playing this game with kids.
Yes.
It's fun playing with adults. It's more fun playing with kids mostly.
is.
I'm not saying there's not game enough to play with adults. I mean, there's not, but you could also play it with grown-ups once in a while. If it's just you and like your spouse or something, that I could see you playing it. With kids, it's like it's so much fun.
I agree.
Is so much
I
fun.
love Robots. That's like my newest favorite kids game.
Yeah.
But
love
it's also
that game.
funny because there's like a learning curve, because like adult like pacing is way different than
Way
kid pacing
different
we've
than
learned,
kids.
and so we kind of have to
Yeah.
adjust.
Yep. But see, that's what I like about games that do. I like games that make you play
Off each other, yeah.
to figure stuff out. Like Slide Quest does this too, where it's like it's really just a little mechanism. All you're doing is lifting a lever. But if it comes to me and I lift that lever fast, the thing shoots across the board and you lose.
You ruined it, yeah.
But so you have to like,
Ruined
and when you're playing with 4 people, you have to like kind of figure out like, and after like a few rounds, you're kind of like, okay, now we all know how to work with each other. Like the mind is another example of this one. When you get the right group of people and you learn each other's ticks, like, okay, Jeff's waited long enough that I know that Jeff doesn't have this number. So it's like that. And Robots has that in a kid's game.
Yeah.
What a cool game. Just a deck of cards. Robots, number 3. That's for me. Natalie, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Rory's Story Cubes.
Man.
Rory's Story
Killing it. Rooster.
Rory's Story Cubes, I wouldn't even call it like, well, it's not like a typical game. There's no competition. You're literally just creating
It's an
a
activity.
story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like an activity, but it's just a bunch of dice with a bunch of different pictures on the dice, and you go around and you roll a bunch of dice.
9 dice. Yeah,
and then you pick one, and based
can be
on that
whatever.
picture on the dice, you tell a part of a story, and then you make sure you stop. You only tell a piece of it, and then the next person will pick another die with a picture on it, and then they'll continue your story based on the picture they picked, and it is so cute and funny.
Yeah, it's really
like listening
cute
to what
watching
they
little
come
kids
up
do it.
with, and it's really simple, and it lets them be creative and like use their imagination.
That's another why didn't I think of that game?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's just fun and silly.
Like those
And
are like
that's
Sex Life.
another
No, it
one
has
where
to
I feel
start
like
with
it's
Once
fun
Upon a
for
Time.
grown-ups.
Let's start Once Upon a Time.
Lexi's always
Once Upon a
like,
Time
every time
with
she
black
picks
holes.
one, she's like, gets hers, and she's like, okay, so. That's
Like,
how
is
she's
it just like in the yeah.
You heard it first.
yeah.
That
Yep.
game is great. It's also really, like you said, about building creativity. It's also amazing to use as a more of even a teaching tool of having kids like write the story. write something creative. You're write this fictional story based on these 9 dice.
Yeah.
I know lots of elementary teachers that have used it. I bought
cool.
Devin a set for her classroom. So
Wow,
she has
has she
some.
used it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Cool.
And you can put the dice on the overhead and then tell the story, and you're amazed that you get 30 different stories from all these
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
That's
in the
awesome.
same
Yeah.
kind of dice.
That's-
And
what a
it's
cool
perfect for that like fictional writing, because a lot of teachers look at write a story about a dog, but this is a cool way to use that.
This was maybe the most
Makes you be more
impromptu
specific.
list we've ever come up with, and it might be our best one.
I know. Seriously.
Let's just come up with that. Let's do it all the time.
Jeff,
like
what
that.
is your number 2?
My number 2 is a game my students love called Hive Mind.
I love that
do
game
they?
too.
Yeah, they really
Oh,
do.
cool.
I think it might stay in my collection just as a fun party game, but they really enjoy
I love Hive Mind.
comparing
Yeah, me too.
answers and also just being like, they don't care about scoring points. It's just so like they like being so wrong sometimes. They're like, how did no one say
How did no one else
dog?
say
How did no one
bird?
say
Yeah.
this? Yeah. Or the one time when we played and it was names that are used for both male and female.
Yeah.
And I didn't say my wife Devin's name.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's okay.
That's what.
So
well, you only
those-
associate her with a
yeah,
girl. Yeah,
those
I get it.
moments are so funny to
Yep.
them. It's so great, and sometimes they'll just play, and I watch them not even use the
Yeah.
beehive. They're just
Great, it's
playing
just
and
for
asking
fun.
questions and writing
That's
stuff down.
That's one of those games that's like that. for
Yeah, and
sure.
it's just so cool. Where like I'm like, are you guys even playing? They're like, no, we're just keep going. And I'm like,
That's
how
so
cool is that? So
I remember I went to RIW, the FLGS we talk about all the time, before Nerdfest one year, just looking for a new game, and I was
Yep.
like, oh, Richard Garfield, because I'm pretty sure he just
Yeah.
designed it. I was like, I'll take a chance on this. That was the most played game at Nerdfest.
yeah, it was so fun.
Everybody
Yep.
played. We played that so many times. That's awesome, dude. Number 2 for me is there's 2 games in this series now. I'm only going to talk about the one, but the other one is probably good for maybe the age that Jeff is talking about. And this is Zombie Kids. There's also Zombie Teens. Zombie Kids. Gosh, Zombie Kids is awesome. And the reason it's so awesome is because it's like, I feel like the designers of the game were like, we want to make a kids game that grown-ups want to play with their kids. Most like kids games, I'm looking at Haba, which are amazing, right? They're geared towards
you want
kids.
to play My Little Orchard?
Yeah, the grown-ups don't have fun playing that stuff.
Like you're doing it only for the
Not
kids.
fun. You're
It's not
only doing it for the
enjoyable.
kids,
Yeah.
right? And it makes sense because the kids need to be able to understand it.
Yeah.
So Zombie Kids was designed specifically as a kids game that is awesome for
like
the grown-ups
next level,
too, because
yeah.
it's a legacy game for children.
Well done.
About zombies.
It's the Pixar of like cartoon movies.
Yeah, right.
I want to see
I
every
like the
Pixar movie
Pixars.
that comes out, and
Yeah.
I'm an adult for the most part.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
but the kids love that movie. It's
the
a
kids love it for
great
different
marketing
reasons
thing.
than-
It's well done.
Yep, it is so good. I can only imagine Zombie Teens is a similar, just probably has more complexity. I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe some more attitude.
I'm guessing
or
there's more, because I don't even know this. It's called Zombie Teens. I would assume it's
more acne, more
it's supposed
attitude.
to be get more neck beard.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be geared for older kids, I'm guessing.
I think it's
right?
a next step.
Yeah, like the next step up. It's not just a sequel.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on
Yeah,
that.
I
but
don't
it
either. I'm
Seems like
just
it would
guessing.
be the next.
But Zombie Kids is incredible. The kids love being the one to take a sticker off the bat and put it onto the rule book, or like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, there's an envelope that I just discovered a new power. They love that. It's very cool. We did a Zombie Kids mini half episode long ago, so you can go back and listen to that if you want to know more about Zombie Kids. But that's my number 2, Zombie Kids. Natalie, we are number 1. What do you got? What do you got for number 1?
All right. I didn't want to steal yours. I could have done a different one, but
Oh, I don't care. If it's
Okay.
mine, I'll say it too.
okay. My number 1 is gonna be Strike.
You can't just mouth stuff to me, and when we're like in the middle, I'm like,
I
oh my god, I don't know what she's
know.
saying, and what am I supposed
She
to
said,
do?
"Da-da-da-da-da-da-da." She said, "Is yours space? Is your number 1 space?"
I'm like, you almost said it. Space. You said it so like space.
It's
like
space.
that's a game.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Move on, Jeff. Move on. I got
Water.
it. It's
Is it
space.
water?
It's space.
Air.
Somebody needs to make a sweet game called Space
Land.
now.
Yeah, space. Tell us about Strike.
My number 1 is Strike because that
So fun.
adults will play that with adults, and
Yeah.
kids. It's the easiest.
I'm pretty sure it was designed for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
it's the easiest freaking thing in the world. You just roll some dice in the center of an arena, and
Okay.
Yeah. In the center
Of space.
of space.
Scarlett is 4. In most games, she has to like be on my team because she can't like play by
Right.
herself or pay attention or understand. But this one, she can actually play.
Yep.
And it's so great, and it's so funny, and it's fun, and I don't know.
And now this
we've talked
game
about
is
Strike a million
readily
times.
available.
Yeah.
You can
at
buy this
Target.
game
Yellow
at
box.
Target, at
Yellow box version.
anywhere. Yeah,
Yes.
so you don't have to spend $30 on shipping. So you can find this game anywhere now, and you should do
So
it.
it's
That
just
might be Gamecasters essential.
It might
number
be.
3.
You might
Because we have all. I remember I told Jeff, I was like, Jeff,
just buy it.
don't. Yeah, and you did.
I did.
I was like, don't.
okay.
I don't want you to look anything up. I just want you to buy this game. And now we all tell
Yeah.
people that.
And I
Yeah.
am going to buy an English copy to keep at my house, and then keep the other one at
Good
school
idea.
for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Good idea.
they play that game all the time too.
Yeah.
My number one. You ready?
Yes. Let's
My
hear
number
it.
one is Just One.
Ooh.
Love
So
that
I
game.
put this on here for a few different reasons. Number one for Just One is it's another game that my students just play and play and play and don't keep track of their points, don't keep track of this. They'll play it
Yep.
for 2 straight hours because it's
Wow.
just they'll just go through the deck. They don't like take the 12 out and keep.
Yeah.
They don't mind. They don't want to do that.
Yeah,
they
they don't
want to just
care
keep
about
playing
that.
and playing and playing and playing.
That's got to be maybe the best party game that's come out in the last number of
Yeah,
years.
and it's
Yeah.
also a great game for families. It's a great game to play like mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever. That the family environment. It also allows for a lot of creativity.
Yeah,
in
sure
word
does.
choices.
Well, because you don't want to
And-
match people, so it's like
Yeah, and
you
there's
got to figure it out.
It also works very well if you're still at home. It works well over Zoom. I know a lot of people have played this
Yeah,
over
that's a
Zoom.
good point.
I have played it over Zoom with Lydia and her kids in Missouri,
right.
and that was awesome. So I think it can connect also a lot of people, especially when times where we haven't seen people in
Yeah,
years,
right.
and that
It's a good COVID game.
and that might be a good game to play with your family, play with teenagers. Get them off the couch. I don't know what teenagers do. They just go to school. I know
scare the
that.
living shit out of me.
Anyway, Just One is number one.
I know that song.
That is awesome. Just One is such a good one. I did not expect that.
Yeah, well,
Again,
I
that's a
didn't either.
great. That's
Because I feel like-
well, it's a great everyone game.
Yeah.
that's a great choice. That's a
Everyone
great
game,
choice.
yeah.
My number one, as Natalie mouthed to me earlier, was Strike.
yeah.
I would have done a different one.
That's okay. Our first crossover, I think, is fine. It warrants.
Yeah, we have a
this
couple
one.
honorable mentions we can
Yeah.
throw in
Yeah.
there.
Strike is so. Natalie said everything about it. We had a tournament at Nerdfest even one time. It's like, it's got to be one of the most fun experiences. I'd put it up there with games like Happy Salmon in terms of
yeah.
just how fun it is when you play it, or Insider, or maybe Just One. Like, it's just pure, unadulterated fun, right? It's
Yeah.
just like
F-U-N.
It's all you want to play.
And it's so simple.
And you just play it over and over and over again, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
And Lexi will win.
Yeah.
She said, she was like, when I come on the Gamecasters, can I ask everybody why I win everything?
Oh my god.
I was
Oh.
like, you can, but you might not get the answers you
Yeah,
expected.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys have for honorable mentions?
Thank you.
Oh, I got a lot. I have Doodle Quest.
I almost
Great one,
put
good
that
one.
on there. It was so close.
I have The Magic Labyrinth.
oh, man, I thought that was going to be the only one to say
Marvel
that.
United.
Magic Labyrinth is great.
Nominated.
Rampage, and Fitz and Clank.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Wow, Clank.
Yeah, they play like Clank.
You're thinking of the wrong game.
Yeah, Clank, man. That's
Oh,
I'm like,
children, that's a good
whoa,
one.
that's
Class.
Class.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Class.
Really? Clank, huh?
Yeah, man, they're getting
Scarlet
into it.
Change
Scarlet really
Yeah.
loves that dragon.
Yep. She gets that gems and leaves quick. I had any love letter, any variation of love letter is amazing with high
love
school
it, huh?
kids. They love that. Quirky Circuits is great. Again, working together, communicating, but not really. King of Tokyo is one that teenagers love, especially introducing people to new games. Monikers is amazing with teenagers. I would say to filter out some of the cards. Some of the
Yeah.
cards
Dirty
can be
ones.
very inappropriate.
Yeah.
A filtered monikers with ages 11, 12, 13 and up is super fun. A blast. They'll again play that game for hours and
over.
hours and hours.
Yeah, that's another unadulterated fun game that
is.
could be
It's
number
really
yeah.
4.
I have like Astro Trash is something that's like a left, right, center
Really?
sort
Oh,
of
yeah. They like
passing
that.
game. Yep. Concept is one they love. Any social deduction. Like,
Okay, there you go. I'm like, I expected that to be number 1, to be honest with you. I was like waiting for the Resistance to be number 1. Because
Yeah.
I remember, okay, this is years removed. Jeff started this board game club, and he was like, it was like a year into it, and he's like, they still play the Resistance every time.
Yeah, they
like,
still
they
do.
almost end with the Resistance.
Yeah,
every
the
time.
Resistance. It was. I just kind of left
It's
it off
older.
to highlight some other ones.
Sure.
But yeah, any social deduction like the Resistance, the Chameleon, Insider, they love just working together, being sneaky,
Yeah.
pointing at each other, because again, it just creates that
Acceptable to
memories,
lie.
which then gets them back to playing board games or want to play board games. Even if you want to go in the gamey world, they love the game Dominion, which we've actually played a few times, and
Wow.
our teacher brings it.
Cool.
And The Mind is something they love too.
awesome. I can
so
totally
cool.
see that kind of. Natalie said every single one of my honorable
Seriously?
mentions. Yep. I was thinking Magic Labyrinth was going to be one that. Well, also with their, we're married and we own those. A
Yeah.
lot of those.
I only said it because I walked back in the room and I saw
same
it. And
brain,
I was like,
one
oh
brain.
yeah, that one's fun.
Good. That was a fun list to do.
Yeah, that was good.
list.
Good impromptu list. So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the show. We also have a Facebook group. You can search Gamecaster to find us there and see all the hilarious memes that Nestor makes every single episode. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. We also have an incredibly barren Board Game Geek Guild 3678. If you'd like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating in Apple Podcasts or anywhere else that allows you to listen to us. I just keep thinking of the like the show.
Oh, like the show. Ron or Bringer.
Like the show. He's like, okay.
If you haven't watched Check It Out, you just need to watch it.
Check it out.
And
It's
just-
Dr. Steve Brule.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We've also got a Patreon now. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/The Gamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to redbubble.com/people/Gateway Network. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I am Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.